It's time for Twig This Week in Google. Jeff Jarvis, Stacey Higginbotham, and Danny Sullivan are here. We'll find out what Danny's retirement plans are. We'll talk about Net Neutrality Day and why we've got that banner up on the site. And a whole lot more This Week in Google. Next.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for This Week in Google is provided by Cachefly. CACHEFLY.com. This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 413, recorded Wednesday, July 12th, 2017. You never know what's not going to happen. This Week in Google is brought to you by Rocket Mortgage from Quicken Loans. Home plays a big role in your life. That's why Quicken Loans created Rocket Mortgage. It lets you apply simply and understand the entire mortgage process fully so you can be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. Get started at rocketmortgage.com/twig. And by Capterra. Capterra is a free and easy-to-use software comparison site with over 400 categories of business software to choose from and thousands of reviews from actual users like you. Visit Capterra.com/twig today. It's time for Twig This Week in Google, the show where we talk about, somebody said you should just call it This Week in Stuff We Want to Talk About. We talk about pretty much anything we want. Stacey Higginbotham is here. She is in charge of Internet of Things devices on this show. Well, she's in charge of good journalism in general. Always a pleasure to have you, Stacey. Host of the IoT Podcast at iotpodcast.com and get her newsletter at stacyoniot.com. Jeff Jarvis is also here from New Jersey. Home of Governor Christie. Buzzmachine.com. It's not, he's become a punchline. Just say Governor Christie and you'll laugh.
I think we could criticize Christie and none of our listeners will come after us for being political then.
Oh, I
think it's safe.
I'm sure there's got to be some Governor Christie fans out there. Jeff is a professor of journalism at CUNY. He blogs at buzzmachine.com. He's the author of many a fine book. Hey, look who's here, and I'm glad he is because I wanted to find out what's going on with Danny Sullivan. He was the creator of, and I had forgotten about this, before Search Engine Land, Search Engine Watch.
Yep.
That's how we first met. You were doing Search Engine Watch. Yeah. I forgot you got acquired, became Search Engine Land, founded marketingland.com and Search Engine Land. And now you've decided to take a step back and become an advisor to the parent company.
Yep.
Which means you're basically on the beach.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. You're way too young to retire, Danny Sullivan.
Well, I've been covering the search space, the search marketing, digital marketing space for 21 years, and wow. I was just kind of ready for a break.
You're exhausted.
Yeah, I'm exhausted, beat to death. I mean, there's some things like, there's some stories I felt like I've written the same story 7-8 times.
Yeah.
The names have changed, but the core principles are the same. And so, you get to some degree where you feel like it's both not as challenging as you'd like, and also, does anybody want to hear me whine over the same things over and over again?
Yes, that's why we have you on, to whine over the...
It's the same thing, but new people read it.
But I know, and there is that. I mean, I don't mean to take away from that, and there is a challenge, and I do enjoy a chance when I can come in and explain something and talk about something. But there's lots of great people who do that as well, and also I just it was sort of a daily thing. I mean, I feel like I've been running on a daily basis in terms of this kind of coverage. Although I wouldn't write every day, it still was always every day. We're running a business, we're doing this sort of thing, and so I was just ready for a break. So
more power to you. I mean, God bless you. I think it's great.
So we'd been building the company up over the past 10 years, and we've got a great staff of people there, and I felt like great. Everybody's set. Everybody's churning along. They're going to do great. I've managed to help build things up enough I can put myself out of a job.
That's a good job. Nice work if you can get it. So you're going to kind of stay on in an advisory capacity at Third Door Media, but you're no longer chief content officer over there.
Right. So I'm there if they've got questions, if they need me for anything. I'm around. I'm still, love the company. I love everybody there. I want them to be successful. I still have shares in the company, so I really want it to be successful. Yeah. Do you think I'm just there, and if they have questions for me, and if they don't, then that's cool.
Do you think you'll take another job, or what do you think you'll do? You take up pottery? I mean,
yeah. Well, right now I'm busy building an AT-AT.
Good, in the backyard. That's always good
for Comic-Con, actually in the garage. So that's occupied a bit of my time.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. I put it up on Twitter. We just did our test walk today. So.
Oh my God.
We just have to wrap it all up. There's a bet in the house that I will not get it done in time for next week.
How tall is it?
It's not that bad. It's it comes up to. Well, I can't show you because
I can show you.
Shoulders.
I have I have the methodology. So there are going to be people in it.
Yes, my son. There we go.
And now watch out for those guys with the lariats who could take you down just by running around you.
It's all going to be we have plans for little speeders to run around. I have great plans, many plans. It's going to be amazing.
So the headline is Danny Sullivan retires.
You need to get a job
from Search Engine Land to build Star Wars cosplay.
I'm kind of taking the summer to kind of relax. My oldest son's going off to college in the fall, so just spending as much time as I can with them. And then
I think that's awesome.
We'll see. I don't know. I really, as you might gather, love science fiction a lot. So I might become a science fiction TV show recapper.
If you ever want to do a podcast, you know who to call.
Oh,
actually, you probably have a lot of people saying that to you. So.
I have a great podcast I'd love to do. I just want to get people who know everything about comic books to sit down with me every time there's one of those movies and say, now, what was the backstory on that? I need the right title for it, but it's like comic books in films for idiots was what I would probably call it. So we'll do that. I'd like to do some tech writing occasionally for things that I'm interested in. If something's not, I like to explore topics. And so I expect I'll do some writing. Who knows? Maybe I'll still write a search thing or whatever if a Twitter rant doesn't do it enough for me. But just kind of enjoying a little time off to kind of relax and recharge and just think about what kind of writing I want to do next. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, that's right. Great. And you're always welcome to stop by because your insights are so valuable and we're going to kind of miss them on the web. Yeah. So please,
You, Danny, honest to God, you are the most astute analyst of the web business. And I hope we don't lose you with that, really.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Jeff, and back at you for all the great stuff that you do as well. And I definitely, it's funny because the kids keep going, stop saying you're retired.
They want you at least till we get through college, Dad.
It's more, it's more a shift towards doing something else. I definitely don't want to jump in and spend, the grind of, especially on the marketing aspect stuff or whatever, but general stuff. If I think I've got something useful I can say, and I plan to still be busy, certainly out on the Twitter.
Yeah.
So
your Twitter feed is great. People should follow at Danny Sullivan because you're commenting on a lot of stuff, including today's net neutrality rally. If you're watching our live stream, we're in black and white today because today is the day we're battling to save the net from the new FCC chairman and his minions. If you go to battle, let's see, there's a number of places to go. What is the one we're recommending? I can't remember. Battle for the Net. If you go to twit.tv, there's a link to it. In fact, I think I like what we did on the front page here.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
I may get in trouble for this, but I think one of the most effective arguments is on Funny or Die.
Is it adult?
It's safe. I think it's safe. It's safe.
Right,
it's barred.
This is the web without net neutrality, and this is what a lot of people are doing. If you go to various sites,
you guys did it too, right? I saw that pop up.
Maybe, yeah.
Or did I just see it everywhere else?
Might have been somewhere else.
There it is. You're
in the middle.
Porn stars defend net neutrality.
Porn stars. Oh, I was wondering.
I'll skip that one. So
okay. It's funny. It's very funny.
I'm sure it's funny. As funny or die almost always is. We could also show the yelling man takes on net neutrality.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'll leave that as an exercise to the viewer. If you go to Reddit, they have a big Danny's clipped this one. This is kind of cool because it looks like it's 300 baud. The internet's less fun when your favorite sites load slowly, isn't it? Whether you're here for news AMAs or some good old-fashioned cats in business attire, the internet's at its best when you, not internet service providers, decide what you see online. And, we have a big dog in this hunt because Twit probably would have a hard time if internet service providers could prioritize other video streams and, by reverse discrimination, hurt us.
Right. Who wants to pay Comcast or Comcast or AT&T more money just to get
YouTube or, Reddit and then really
you as a businessman
or Twit. And it's not. I'm not so much worried about Twit as the next
fine,
Twit.
Though. YouTube would be fine. Google will pay the fees anyway.
Yeah, well, that's the point. It benefits the incumbents. It's got two problems. One is it benefits big companies that have already made it. They can afford to pass a little backsheesh on the internet service providers for access to you. It also the other problem is that the internet service providers become the arbiters of what succeeds and fails, and that's why we don't like zero rating too. When companies like T-Mobile say, "Well, you can listen to these services and it won't ding you for bandwidth." That's another way of picking the incumbents, and we don't want the big internet service providers to decide winners and losers on the internet.
It is too soon to limit the net.
It will always be too soon. The net needs to be
well. I think of the competition. So I did an interview this morning for Velshi and Rule on MSNBC this Saturday, and I'll make the same argument I've made on the show many times. If we had sufficient competition, I think that would take care of it, but we do not.
Right.
So I could imagine a day where you have many service providers, and may the best and the best priced win. And we don't need it, net neutrality, but we need it now.
I don't think we'll ever get to that point because the people who can build an ISP type network, you have to be so big to do it, and you have to behave in kind of a dickish manner in order to make it work because the regulatory and competitive hurdles are so high. So I kind of feel like we're never going to get the competition we need. And then when we think about like greater verticalization across the board, I think that also will stand against it. That's just me.
One thing that might make a difference is wireless, because of course the infrastructure required to do wired internet is pretty prohibitive.
If we look at 5G wireless, I'm using 5G I'm using it as the millimeter wave fixed wireless. So that's what Google, Facebook, AT&T, Verizon are all testing this. And this is basically using spectrum that's currently doesn't travel well through walls. And there's a couple technical things that have happened to make it more financially viable and faster. So if we did something like that, and they're testing that now, that economically could work. And that's kind of what Starry is trying to do, although I have no idea how well Starry is doing now.
The plan that I'm most in favor of, but seems even less likely to succeed, is the notion that municipalities own the infrastructure, just as in many places they might own the power grid or the gas lines or the water lines, and then and maintain it, and then lease it out to any company that wants to use that infrastructure to provide internet service. I really like that model, but and that's a model in some countries that is the case. The government often owns the infrastructure. But that gives, to me, the best of both worlds, because the municipality then, it's like the roads. The municipality creates a network of data and allows others to ride on it, and they can make their money back by charging a toll. But then you have real competition over those lines.
I don't think we're going to get that under this FCC. Some of the last FCC tried hard to create.
It could be decades, but no, I know. Yeah.
I'm like, it's a great idea, sort of. It becomes It's a challenge because of the way we invested in broadband initially. So I think it'd be great if municipalities could do it, but it's going to cost so much. And AT&T and Verizon would sue because they would lose their rights to do this.
Well, the advocates for it, which include, by the way, Bob Frankston, one of the creators of VisiCalc, the advocates for this say the cities, municipalities could take over the existing infrastructure using eminent domain. And so you could, but you're right. I mean, the real problem, the real problem in this country is exactly what we're seeing and why we're fighting today, which is that the telecommunications companies are the single biggest donors to the United States Congress via their political action committees and lobbies. And as a result, they get their way. And they get their way in state legislatures, too, which have in many cases, I think 23 states, banned municipal Wi-Fi. So maybe as Larry Lessig said, the best thing to do is to get the influence of money out of politics first, and then we could talk about a whole lot of other things.
I'm for it. Let's do that. Let's make that happen.
Yeah. You're going to run for Senate in Texas, right?
Oh, no. I think you've got to start small. Maybe I'll run for the school board.
Okay, that's good.
That's influential.
That's good. You guys want to weigh in? Stacey and I are dominating here.
No, I think we've talked a lot about net neutrality, and the sad part is we have to talk about it again.
Yeah, and you know what? The fight is not over. We'll have to keep fighting. Of course, you remember that the FCC claimed that they had been hit with a distributed denial of service attack, and so had to close down comments. I think they're up. If you go FCC yourself, which is the fabulous domain created by Stephen Colbert, it'll take you to what they euphemistically call restoring internet freedom.
My big concern in all this is, I was reading through the article, and I thought The Verge had a good article on everything everybody's doing, but it was like, we've got things now where you don't even have to go to the site, and you just push a button, and I felt like
slacktivism,
But I'm concerned if, yes, we've done all this, but it gets dismissed as, well, it's just, it's basically all robots.
They're not going to vote anyway.
It's not. Yeah.
That's another problem. I mean, there's a really big problem in this country, which is that the voice of the voter is not necessarily honored because of gerrymandering, because of the very lopsided system we have, which weighs rural voters way up ahead of urban voters.
But I wonder if there's a way for the states themselves to impose some rules. Like, one of the things about California with, our car emissions was that we'd set our emissions to a certain level, and then you had manufacturers say, well, we might as well hit the California level because we sell so many cars there. It's just easier to do the whole thing. Yeah. And I wonder if you had states mandate their own state-based net neutrality systems, if first of all, you might get around some of the federal government lobbying. It's not going to work everywhere, but at least you have 50 different fronts rather than one that you might lose off of. And if it might cause some of these people to, say, look, we can try to do all this, but we're going to not be able to do it in half of these states. So let's just say we don't do it, and to say we don't do it as a benefit, that we won't do this and actually embrace it rather than and that will gain us customers, but.
I think that's an interesting idea. I would say Texas would never go because we are strictly AT&T company. I would point you guys to, because we're kind of talking about this, and it's worth it to anyone who really cares about this issue. The New Yorker did a really excellent article called "America's Future is Texas" by Lawrence Wright, who's here in Austin.
That. Wow.
And that was a really nice explainer. And I've been aware of this because I've lived in Austin my whole life, not my whole life, a long time. And followed a lot of this, but he explains how Texas serves as like a microcosm for the Republican Party's ability to gerrymander and take control over a lot of places. And it's really scary, especially as someone who lives in Texas and is watching currently our legislature just run roughshod over some of the laws that Austin has tried to pass and other cities in Texas that are a little bluer. So it's worth a read if this is something that you're interested in. I was kind of disheartened because they didn't really talk much about solutions.
Well, I think a lot of
Stacey, the who was the state senator who filibustered about right to life?
Wendy
in
Davis.
Texas? Thank you, Wendy Davis. So I heard Wendy Davis speak at a journalism conference, and she said
amazing.
She's amazing, and she said that in the population, Texas is about as purple as California. It's just that with the gerrymandering and voter suppression, there's much less voting.
Here's crazy. Austin, we have 6 representatives, not one. My representative, Roger Williams, apparently who is also Lawrence Wright's, his district goes all the way up to Waco. And if you've been to Waco, it's so my little slice of the Austin pie was divvied up. So as a voter, I have very little power in even local representation for Congress. And I think I actually have a Republican local state senator. So my congressional representative is taken away from me because of gerrymandering, which is a problem. And then nationally, I've got John Cornyn and Ted Cruz. So I never thought I'd get there nationally, but maybe I could one day.
The good news is district court has ruled that the Texas gerrymandering is racially motivated and illegal, and we've seen
It's true.
But whether anything will happen is another matter.
They're only redoing a couple of districts. I was really excited about that, and then I spent some time looking into it, and it's not as great as I thought it would be. But hey, every little bit helps.
It bugs
Move to
me.
Waco, Democrats.
Yeah, it bugs me because in a populous state like California, our vote counts about a third the vote of somebody in a less populous state like Vermont in the presidential election. And, and it's an interesting history of this country. It was really created by the founding fathers, all men, and many slave owners to protect the rights of the rural colonists against the rights of the city colonists, but often that meant to protect the rights of slaveholders against the abolitionists. And it's kind of a grim history that just doesn't seem to quit. And the main reason we bring this up is I don't want people to give up, and I feel like people have given up. In Nilay Patel's article on the Verge, he quotes Wired's tech reviewer David Pierce saying, I don't think reviewing internet service providers matters because I don't think anyone has any inkling that an ISP can be good. It's like reading Yelp reviews of Comcast. The best case scenario is you don't think about it, and it only gets worse. And even
listen, nobody loves an ISP, but
except ours.
In some fairness, my FiOS is a good site. As much as I've screamed about Verizon Mobile, I got to be fair. My knock wood that it doesn't go out on me right now. My FiOS service is very good. What's to do?
We were Time Warner, and I guess it's now Spectrum. But to be honest, it's been great because they actually lowered my price and they upped my bandwidth, and I didn't even do anything. So not only did I not think about it, but it all increased. So I maybe I'm a lucky one.
Well, but that's only one metric of a good ISP, because Verizon and Spectrum will throw you to the wolves the minute a government subpoena comes in over the transom. Or let's say a letter from the record industry. I don't know about your rates. Look at your bill. Has that been ratcheting up regularly? The cable rates are rising. Some 5 or 6 times faster. The internet rates are rising 5 or 6 times faster.
I don't
than
take
the cost
my cable.
of living.
I take my satellite, and that's actually gotten cheaper too because I'm DirecTV and AT&T, and they keep throwing discounts because the two are bundled together.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's also issues. So there are issues of data caps, and then there are issues of.
We'll make you unhappy yet, Danny.
Sorry.
Well,
so there's data caps. Verizon doesn't.
I've not had any of my data capped at the house, as far as I can tell. That's never been an issue.
That was Time. So back in 2008, Time Warner was actually the first company to try to implement data caps, and they were pushed back pretty vehemently. Although Comcast later succeeded.
I have a terabyte data cap on my Comcast at home, and we've exceeded it 3 months in a row.
Wow.
So we're gonna get dinged. Oh, by the way,
So-
Danny, you have AT&T. I forgot. They love net neutrality. In fact, they've signed on to this protest, which is fantastic.
I didn't even read the story because I'm like, are you seriously? Like, what?
Yeah. This is the company that blocked customer access to FaceTime unless you bought a more expensive plan. The good old guys at AT&T. Tomorrow, they wrote, AT&T will join the Day of Action for preserving and advancing an open internet. This may seem like an anomaly to many people. Who might question why AT&T is joining with those who have differing viewpoints on how to ensure an open and free internet. But that's the point.
How are they doing this with a straight face?
I don't know. It's consistent with AT&T's proud history of championing our company's rights to an open internet, as long as we control it and can make more money off of it.
This is because we have become so successful as I mean this very facetiously, as a country, for being able to look at something that says one thing and say, oh, AT&T is totally in favor of it.
Yeah.
AT&T has always supported Eurasia. It was never at war with East Asia.
Exactly. Truth is lies. What is it? Lies or truth?
Oh, my goodness.
War is peace. And we're really entering that time where, and I feel bad for people because psychologically it's got to be disturbing to think something is true. We're basically all being gaslighted all the time.
Well, I mean, to step back, we are in the space. This gets us upset. For a lot of people, it's not going to be upsetting.
Nope.
I mean,
that's why we're trying to raise some awareness here.
T-Mobile wants to give me free data.
Yeah, good.
Nice. I'm going to get subpoenaed. I didn't do anything wrong. Why is that going to bother me?
Right.
It's like you can see that it's not a thing that's going to excite a whole lot of people. I always find the thing that excites them the most, the idea, and somebody did this years ago, was like, that you have to pick out what you want to pay for on your cable bill. So who did it? But I can't remember.
I remember that. Yeah.
But it was like a little graphic, and it was like, okay, I want YouTube. That'll cost me $10 a month. But I would like to have Facebook. And I would like to have Facebook. But I will also be required to subscribe to my regional sports service fee. That's the stuff I think that really ticks people off.
If internet were run the same way that cable companies run TV. Yeah.
But the cable companies would never do that. What happens is, and this is a core problem with innovation, you never know what's not going to happen. And that's kind of the threat here. So
wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
You never know what's not going to happen.
You're proving a negative when you regulate.
Right. Okay. You're never not going to. Okay.
I like it. I think it's the title of this show.
More cones that make no sense from Stacey.
Stacey's cones. All right. I think we've said what we need to say. Probably anybody who's following this issue knows where they stand, and I hope they will let the FCC and their member of Congress know. And we could just leave it at that. And I don't know.
Let Ted know how you feel, Stacey.
Yep.
I actually call both Ted and John Cornyn every week and let them know all kinds of things. I even call Roger Williams. He sent me a letter saying he doesn't care. It was a nice letter. It was a nice letter that said that many of my constituents are in favor of the following policies that I support. Yeah. So he was like, you know what? You're not in favor, which he's right.
You should have Rohrabacher here, because when I call his office, they're all like, well, we don't know his position. We can't know. He doesn't know. They told me once he couldn't have a position on anything President Trump would say, because he's just a congressman. Or he can't possibly know everything that's in the bills he's voting on. Or, he's
a really wonderful source.
He's awful.
Yeah, of great quotes. Isn't he the guy who said, well, you could always just get off the internet if you don't like it.
Or we can have town halls, but we can only have telephonic town halls that are not announced in advance. And if you happen to be at home at the time that they didn't tell you in advance, and your phone rings and you knew that was going to be them, then maybe you could participate if you were one of the random people. You're just like, you are awful, just awful. So.
Let's cheer up. Go to the FCC, comment. Let's see if we can bring it down again with another distributed denial of service attack. Oh, Lord. All right.
Star Trek communicator. That's cool. There's no net problems on that.
I like that. Is that for you're confusing your cosplay now?
Yeah.
No, I'm happy. I am unlike the two roommates that got into a knife fight over whether Star Wars or Star Trek was better last week.
That's such a silly thing to do since Star Trek is so obviously superior.
I don't know who won, but because they didn't identify them. Yeah. No, this is nice. It's like got a Bluetooth speaker and it plays music.
Oh, that's cool.
From my phone. Yeah. You could take phone calls on it. Anyway.
Google Photos and Google Drive is adding its backup and sync tool for the Macintosh.
Why?
What? There, it's sort of like Carbonite or one of these other online backup, but it's only for existing folders, desktop documents, and pictures, and of course you pay for the storage. But I should mention that anyway.
Wait, how is this different than what they do already?
Well, they did it on Windows first, and I think they now do it on the Mac. Is that what's new?
No, I don't know. I want to understand more.
Oh, as opposed to what you do right now with the Google Drive syncing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I just put all my photos in Google Drive.
Yeah, so that's a Google Drive folder. Now you can back up your desktop folder, your documents folder, and your pictures folder onto Google Drive automatically. It's a sync. A sync program.
I wish. What's annoying me about them, I'm just want to lose my mind, is that we don't have, you can't use Google Drive with multiple accounts, right? It's like you can one account. That's it. You can't switch it.
That also drives this. That's why you're on this side of the stage, because you two have this.
Niagara Falls.
InSync is a wonderful solution. Okay, so get InSync, because that'll allow you to have multiple Google Drives. The other thing is as our laptop storage space continues to condense down to 128 gigabytes to 60 gigabytes, you want support for external drives. Just make it happen.
So how much do you pay for InSync? This is cool.
It's like $30 a year or something. InSync's wonderful. It really is, because I have 3 different Google accounts that I deal with.
So it gives you kind of a unified inbox for your Google Drive.
But it's only for. Sorry, I have a specific need, so I'm like, would it work for? Okay, maybe I'll try it.
It'll work with any of your Google Drive accounts. And it'll also support an external drive, which is wonderful. So I would really like Google just to buy them. But, of course, I would like Google to just, give me the same features, although it would make me sad for the people over at InSync. But
this is nice. I'm going to get this. This works for Linux, too. That's
they're really good. They've been very dependable. It's saved me. But it is those things where you're like, why don't you have this stuff, Google? Why, anyway.
If you just had Chromebooks, people.
Well, that's what's funny about this is that hasn't Google been saying all along, it's too hard, we can't figure it out, we don't know how to do it, and these guys just come along and do it.
It's because they don't care.
They don't care.
I want my calendars. I want both of my calendars. This doesn't seem to offer what I want. Dang it.
What do you mean calendars?
This is the stupidest thing, but this is my first world problem. I want my main calendar is on my business Google account, so my paid G Suites account. And I can sync that over to my personal stuff. But what happens is when I go into my Google Home and I want to share data, it will only share from my personal account. It won't share from my business account. And so my calendar is horribly inaccurate. And I would love to actually be able to ask, hey, Echo, or hey, Google Home, what's on my calendar today, and get it the right stuff.
You can't have your Google. So one of the Google calendars can subscribe to the other.
Can't you subscribe to your business calendar and your home calendar?
I did. I subscribed my personal calendar to my business calendar, but because it won't let me link my business calendar to the Echo, I think that's the issue.
Right. So go the other way.
Go the other way.
Make your home calendar be the master calendar. Subscribe to your business calendar and the home calendar.
But then I have to. Maybe that would work. But then
And
I did this before because I'm in the same situation I've had at work where my business and my
I just need to
personal stuff
swap
work
my
together.
subscriptions then.
Or
if
hey,
you're going
you know
the wrong
what?
direction,
You know what Google could do would be like, I don't know, support people with G Sync Drive, whatever the heck they call it now, who pay money.
It's
let us
funny.
use
Yeah,
all
as soon
the
as you get
same
a G
things
Suite,
everybody else gets.
as soon as you get a G Suite account, you're suddenly disadvantaged.
You're a
It's
second-class
like pay
citizen.
the money, they screw me over. Well,
You want to pay us money? Oh no, you can't use Google Fi. Sorry. Have
One
you considered
thought-
getting
You
a
can
Gmail
now, by the
account?
way. You can
What's
use Google Fi. They've opened it up so you can use Google Fi now
When?
on G Suite.
When? Every time I go to it, it's like Google. I'm going there right now. I'm going to go there
I've done it. I've got my. I'm gonna kill my old Fi account, and I've now got my G Spot Fi account.
G Suite.
See, I still don't trust it though, because I'm still waiting for them to then go, oh no, we changed. But this other thing won't work.
Yeah.
I never get it.
Yeah.
I never get it.
Actually, I'm glad I have a Fi account now because Hangout still works for text messaging, but only if you have a Fi account.
Isn't that great? Saving me.
I feel bad for everybody else.
I was tempted to dump it, but I'm going off to Italy. And I thought that would be handy. Switch it on right from the plane.
Yeah.
It's all ready to go. And now they have this group deal that's still good for a few days where you can add somebody else. And an administrator has turned off Google Fi Project Fi access. I am the administrator.
So turn it on,
Right.
baby.
Turn it back on.
On my G Suite of one. That's the other thing. Is like, can I have a G Suite that's designed for a single person who just doesn't want to have a Gmail account? Make it exactly like
Why would
Gmail.
you? If it's just you, what do you need a G Suite
Because
for?
I just want my own domain name.
Oh, yeah.
Right, for your own domain.
That's
my
it.
issue. I have the same
Somebody
thing,
emailed me saying they heard rumors that Google might just basically do that, is allow you to keep your domain, and that's exactly why I'm doing it. I don't care about all the G Suite stuff.
Yeah, because on my G Suite I'm calendar.twit.tv, mail.twit.tv. But
you
that
can
makes
add
sense.
extra. I've added extra emails, but essentially that's you want your custom.
But you only pay
domain.
$5 a month because it's one person, right?
I think it's $9 a month.
Oh, that's a little much.
Well, I think it's like 60 a year or something.
That's not bad. That's $5.
Hold on.
I probably have some old grand.
Boy, this is a great show to listen to if you want to understand how Google really works, kids.
Well, we're covering Google. Hey,
We don't
are
even
covering
know.
Google.
Oh no,
This
it's $5 a
week
month.
in Google gripes.
Yeah.
So
Here we
are
go.
you going to get the new Google Pixel? We're learning more and more. Lots of rumors.
I just
Boy,
had to buy a new one only a month ago because I
Let's
dropped the
talk
last
about
one in the
this.
toilet.
Will it
Now
be
I got to
water-
buy another one.
I just need it to be
Yeah,
water.
let's not talk about that.
Oh, it's dropping in the toilet. But
These are renders from the Android Police, or the Popo, the Android Popo, as I call them, that are based on descriptions of this edge-to-edge OLED.
It's a Galaxy 8 that you can squeeze.
It'll be squeezeable.
What is that?
It's made by
Squeezable.
LG. So the HTC, what is it? The 11 has squeezable sides.
Yeah, Jeff, and you've seen how popular that's been. I mean, everywhere you go, you see people
Squeeze.
using their HTCs going, thank goodness I can squeeze this thing.
It seems to me not such a good feature, but maybe Google.
Squeeze to do what?
Well,
To interact
Take
with Google
pictures?
Assistant is the thought. Okay, so I squeeze my phone all the time accidentally, and I can't tell you how many times my camera is like, I'm like picking up the phone and the camera's on because I grabbed it and hit the button too hard. And I feel that a squeezable phone, and sometimes I just get
squeeze
tense.
the Pixel.
Like when you guys are like talking over me or something, and I'm like, what's going to happen then? Google Assistant will be like, let's take a few deep breaths. Actually, that would be really handy.
Well, if you shake the phone, it launches the debugger, to say, hey, are you having problems? Because they figure
Really?
Yeah.
My old Moto, I had a Motorola, and whenever I shook the phone,
Same thing.
the flashlight went on, and that was super handy.
Yeah. And then we just saw a story that said that Google's watching for people who press the back button really rapidly a lot because they're stuck. And then
Get me out of here.
that it's called panic detection mode. This is in 7.1. And when it sees the frantic back button presses it realizes it knows the program's crashed and bails. That tells you something. That tells you something.
I always think of that for like websites. If they could do that on like websites for ads, because that always happens to me. I'm like, if I'm not going through an ad block browser and I'm going through something else, and I'm like, wait, oh crap, and then I'm like, screw it, So if they could actually just take me back to my story, that would be nice. And ding that bad website.
To me, the best news about the new Pixel is that it's going to be LG, because there was a rumor that HTC might be making it, which would have been very sad. Now, we think there'll be, two. There's two code names. With this is, we're talking about Taimen, which is the biggest one. So, according to the Android Popo, it will be edge-to-edge, bezel-less design. The fingerprint reader will no longer be on the glass part, which is shrunk. It'll be in the same spot, but the top glass part is a little bit smaller. I don't know what else to say about it. Google's faced
Curved.
with the curved, squeezable frame is weird.
Oh, no, not the curved thing. You mean the Samsung kind of curved thing?
No.
I think we're talking edges being curved now.
Yeah, it's not like it goes all the way. It's just
Okay.
It's a soft. The iPhone 7 has it.
Curved phone. That's so 2014.
Yeah.
Google's got a problem because both Google and Samsung's going to do the Note 8. Google, the Pixel. Last year they came out right before the Apple announcement. They'll probably do the same, which means early September, late August. And then everybody's got all attention, all eyes are going to be on this new iPhone.
Oh yeah,
because it's the 10th anniversary, and it looks like Apple's going to do some interesting things with it. It's going to, it's the iPhone, so it's going to set the stage for what phones need to look like going forward.
To step back, I mean, aside from them having issues because people will be interested, do we even know how well the Pixel is done?
No.
Because this is the biggest launch they've ever done for a phone. This was like, we are in a whole new territory, and I didn't get the impression that many people have Pixels. I judge that solely by the amount of cases I can purchase.
Right.
But I actually feel like your case variety, there are cases out there, but if I can get a wallet case for a phone, I know that it has a very, very popular audience. And it was hard to get a wallet case for my Pixel. So focus group of one.
Well, we all have Pixels.
I don't have a Pixel.
Oh.
Remember, I still have an X. I try to make my phone last for 2 years because I'm not a phone person. I got to spend money on, connected ovens.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
You're not missing anything on the.
I am excited
nice
about
pictures.
So you think you'll get a Pixel? Well, you're due, right? Because it's time to go.
I'm due.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some serious phone discussions going into the September, October timeframe, you guys.
I do need it to be waterproof, though. I'm at that point now where I do not want a phone that's not waterproof.
Same here, man. I've done it now.
What happens? You guys drop it in the urinals? Or
Toilet.
Well,
Toilet.
I go out on the water a lot.
Luckily, before any activity.
I don't. I think people say that a lot.
Right?
Why isn't it waterproof? But I don't. So there must be a demand, I guess.
Oh yeah.
First of all, I fell in the water the other day and trying to get in our boat. It's a very amusing gift, but I fell in with my iPhone, and I was glad that it survived because it was just in my pocket and I hadn't anticipated it.
Well, it's
but then I go out paddleboarding, and it's nice. It's nice. You want to take pictures and stuff out there, and you don't want your phone to die. Of course, you want to make sure you have something that lets it float too, but still. I just want waterproofing in the same way that I want
wireless?
my car to automatically break.
How about wireless charging? Is that a... See, I like that. I think that's part of the problem with making a modern smartphone is there's a large
Although
number.
I needed the wireless charging because after my Samsung 7 that's supposed to be waterproof was waterproof, it refused for many days to let me charge it because it just kept saying, well, I think there's water in the USB port. Like, it's been like 4 days now. I think the water's cleared up, right? Come on. So the wireless charging got it back up.
You know what happened to one of mine that got wet is that the USB-C only works one way. It's like it reverts to USB earlier land. Yes.
Oh, so your phone charging takes forever.
Does?
No, it doesn't. Oh, sorry. Nope.
It only goes in halfway.
I also need the phone to do the 2-lens thing like the iPhone 7 does. That portrait mode.
That's a nice feature.
That's been
Well, LG has that on their G6, so maybe they will build it onto the Pixel X.
Well, so here's the question: sorry, Danny.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm empty of responses.
I was just going to say, if you have 2 lenses, isn't that the VR 180 format?
That's possible.
Google,
yes.
YouTube announced. So if they're far enough away, you get 3D photos. Yes.
Bad news: the renders only have one visible camera lens. Could be one hidden behind the black plastic at the top, though.
I feel they're early on that, though. They have time. I think it's going to be hard, though, if you're trying to sell the Pixel up against the iPhone, and the iPhone will be in its 2nd generation of dual lenses.
And they're going to. I think the iPhone is going to be a big AR play. You know, they've put out this AR kit. A lot of people seem to be doing AR kit based little widgets. You know, little trial things. But that's a good sign. You got a lot of developers playing with it. And, of course, that's a key to the AR is this depth sensing. And
I was going to say if they have depth sensing on there, and then they're also talking about 3D sensing, which is depth sensing, for unlock features on the new iPhone, then we probably could see a lot of really cool functionality using computer vision on that thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I expect we will.
This is what drives me nuts. I'm still waiting for the user interface that isn't like, where you wave your phone around and look through the world.
Like. And yeah, you could argue, I mean, that's what Pokemon Go is. That's, I mean, there's no reason you couldn't put that on any phone, really. The secret sauce for Apple is, besides some fast hardware, better cameras, depth sensing cameras, is this library AR kit, which developers seem to like.
Yeah, well, they won with the App Store. Why not win with lots of AR VR content?
Yeah, exactly. So. Let the other guys do it. Let's take a little
break.
We're
getting really fragmented. One of the things is like, so
I love it. Danny talks, but his mouth doesn't move. It's an amazing thing.
But like, I have an Oculus, I have a Vive, I've got Galaxy Gear as well, right? That's 3 different VR platforms. I can buy a game that's very similar on the Gear to a game that I could buy for an Oculus, and you have to buy them separately. Now, okay, I know that most people aren't going to be buying all these things, but the VR games are very expensive. And so if you started on a Gear, do you want to abandon that when you go off to this other thing? And then if Apple comes out with their own things, I got to buy it for that platform. It's one of the nice.
This is just the early days argument.
Well, yeah, maybe, yeah. But
what is it about humans that we just have to have as many standards as possible?
Oh, I was just looking at that I can't think of the letters XE whatever D.
XKCD, XCCD.
So somebody was doing something on standards yesterday.
Thing. Yeah,
it's so good. One.
Yeah. That's the beauty part of standards. There's always another.
But I'll be very upset, and I know they won't do it, but I'm still going to get upset anyway with Apple because I know that they will not put USB-C in the iPhone next time, and they should. They should just bite the bullet and do it. The USB-C on everything else. They should say, I know we're going to upset you that everybody bought all your Lightning stuff, but let's face it, we need to change the thing.
They'll make people nuts.
For a year. And then people will be like, wow, this is amazing.
I'm so happy.
I've got one charger that charges everything.
It makes me
that's
happy.
Where I am.
And I don't know why. Microsoft's another laggard here. Their devices still have a proprietary charging connector, and their new Surface laptop doesn't even have a Type-C port.
We'll see.
It's great. I mean, I can go from a Chromebook to my MacBook, and it's the same charger.
I agree.
And then I could use the same charger to charge my Pixel up if I wanted
I had to go out and buy 3 USB-C to Lightning cables because there's no other way to connect to my MacBook, and I needed for other reasons.
Danny, there's also Google sells a USB-C wall charger that has 2 USB-Cs in it, which is rare to find.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's a Google thing?
That's Google. Yeah, Google. I bought it from Google.
Excuse me while I do some shopping live on the air.
While you're doing that, let me tell people about Rocket Mortgage. How about that? Our sponsor today comes to us from Quicken Loans, the best loan company in the country. And they get better and better because they're reaching out to us, the geeks, with their new Rocket Mortgage, which is designed to be completely online. Move the entire mortgage approval process online. No more paperwork. You do it all on a phone or a tablet or a computer with a touch of a finger. You can apply simply. You can understand the process fully. It's completely transparent. That means you'll be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. Based on your income, your assets, and your credit, they analyze all the home loan options and find the one that meets your needs exactly. Whether you're looking to buy your first home or 10th, actually, for those of us who bought more than one home, Rocket Mortgage is a revelation. Last home we bought 3 years ago, Lisa and I bought our house. Took us months to get the mortgage. We almost lost the house because the seller was saying, "What's going on? You don't have the loan?" It's been 2 months. And we're faxing stuff from our cruise. It was crazy. Rocket Mortgage doesn't take months, doesn't take weeks, doesn't take days. It takes minutes because, computers. You submit everything you need with a touch of a finger because they've got trusted partners with all the financial institutions. So bank statements, pay stubs, they go, boom. You get to pick the term, you get to pick the rate, and then it will crunch it all and get you the loan that's just right for you. And you will have the confidence because you'll see exactly how it works. You'll understand all the details. You'll know you're getting the right mortgage. To get started, it's easy. Just go to rocketmortgage.com/twig and do that, please, because then they'll know you heard it here. rocketmortgage.com/twig, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states at MLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030. Rocket Mortgage from Quicken Loans. Go to rocketmortgage.com/twig. Danny Sullivan is here, formerly of Search Engine Land. He's still at Three Door Media, but he is looking for work as a cosplay costume designer. If anybody has any suggestions, yes.
I can't sew and can't really build, but I don't want to I still have a dream, and I don't want to feel that my lack of any applicable skills should hold me back.
You know, if I were in your shoes, lots of time on your hand,
I'm literally barefoot.
A packet of money and no shoes to wear, I would go out and get a trawler, and I'd sail the world.
Oh, well.
That's my dream, you know.
Well, I've still got another kid at home, so I have to wait a bit.
Take the kid with you. Take the kid with you. This is, you're going to learn. You're going to learn. High school. It's going to be.
Gotta go through college.
You could do high school at sea. You're going to get in this thing. You're going to
No, I was just looking at that. No, that was a different thing. I was looking at the solar one. Sorry, you got me very excited. There's like a solar catamaran.
Well, I would like a solar boat. That's what I would like.
No, you know what? Actually, I have thought about.
It's called a sailboat, by the way.
I thought about that kind of thing many times because, I remember reading, what was that book? The kids sailed around the world.
Oh, yeah. Robin.
Yeah. I can't think of the name of his boat.
The whole family did it or just one guy?
He just went on his own, and he sailed on his own.
Yeah, Robin, what's his name? Slocum, I want to say?
Wind. It'll come back to me. Great book. Yeah. And so I've always, and I sail like a tiny bit in the harbor, and so I've thought about it. My wife's just like, we'll die. It's just kill us.
Well, that's a risk, and that's why you do it.
I gotta be, I would be like, you're gonna go. There's a hurricane, but I think I can just skirt around it.
It's no fun. Yeah, it's no fun if there's not a chance of death.
I'm like, well, maybe I can get one of those things. You just get into the cubicle, you jump into the capsule, and then we're all fine.
Yeah.
No, kill us.
Yeah. And then you just bob there for 4 days and die of thirst.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it's fun. It's going to be fun.
We'll have a water maker. We'll have Wi-Fi.
It's going to be so much fun. That's actually what I'm waiting for, believe it or not. Actually, it would be nice to have solar so I don't have to buy gas. And I'm really waiting for internet everywhere. When are we going to get, Stacey, high-speed internet on every square inch of this planet? It's not long, right? A decade?
Maybe.
Elon wants to do it, right?
Yeah, Elon, he has a lot of fish to fry right now. Yes, with the smaller satellites, possibly you've got to have the spectrum, and then you've got to have a cheap module that goes into phones to read the satellite transmissions. That's a big part of building it's not just the internet in the sky. You've got to have the internet receivers on the ground or in your device.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
In the middle of the ocean.
In the middle of the ocean.
Danny, this is the boat I think you were talking about. This is your new boat. It makes its own fuel as it circumnavigates the world.
Oh no, but I could do that too.
It looks pretty nice. It makes hydrogen power.
Oh.
see all the solar panels.
We need that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The shipping industry. Oh no, the shipping industry is working on. I actually put it in my newsletter because I thought it was fascinating. Boats that are electric shipping boats, and they're also going to drive themselves. The World Economic Forum had a really neat article.
I feel like
that.
Elon, after he does trucks and buses, he's going to have to look to boats. Although somebody told me, it was I think Jason Calacanis, who kind of has some inside knowledge about Elon, said that the real purpose of the Hyperloop was not, as some think, a super fast pneumatic tube between San Francisco and Los Angeles, but in fact a transoceanic tube that would eliminate the need for all these container ships going back and forth. You'd put 10,000 iPhones in a container at one end and go, and it would go all the way across the Pacific and end up in Oakland.
But the problem with that is you can't have the tube in the water because it's
underwater. It's under. It's like it's at the sea. It's on the ocean's floor. And the thing is, because there's no humans on it. There's no humans on it. You can have more acceleration. You don't have to worry.
So basically, we're building the postal system in large Manhattan buildings from like the 19.
Yeah, you remember?
I don't know.
You'd go into Macy's and you'd buy something.
France.
Yeah,
and newsrooms had them.
It was my dream, really, to have a pneumatic tube system in the old studio.
It would be great.
There was an Austin company who built a pneumatic tube system because they were next door to a Chipotle. So they did a burrito delivery tube.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You could do that.
Won't our drone thing just do that for us? Can't you just put the 10,000 things on a drone delivery thing and just let it fly? And
this is better because there's no congestion. It's just a tube.
But it's the air. There's no congestion in the air.
Oh.
There will be congestion in the air.
Send 1,000 drones up. 1 million drones.
Well, now that we've sent one photon to space or whatever it was we sent to space.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Watch. She puts it in there. She's gonna send, and then the tube goes in the pneumatic, and it goes flying through the air in this tube.
Don't drive-throughs still use this today? Like, I feel like
you still have drive-through banks in Texas?
Well, I was thinking we have drive-through pharmacies.
Oh, sure.
But by the time beer barns,
we had this in newsrooms.
By the time he builds the pneumatic system to send the iPhones and gets it all up and working and running under the water at the billions and billions of dollars, then it's like suddenly going to be like, oh, our 3D printers can just print your iPhone at home.
Well, you
and then we'll be right back to what we're watching now. And you'll be going, but I could send the iPhone under the water. It's awesome. We'll send it under the water, and there'll be people like, there's still great uses for faxes.
So
you're going to still have one bank. You'll have one bank out there that will still demand that you send them your signature through pneumatic undersea tube. That's what he's going to cause us to have.
And then we'll have ads.
So pneumatic tubes are a mass distribution. So they're port to port, and then drones are probably a last mile thing. Right. So that makes more sense. So we'll have all of the above.
I just hope we have garage-sized replicators, so we just make everything in our garage.
Well, did you see the teleporting story this week?
But that was one photon. There's a long way to go from there.
I know. But explain that to me. Was it the actual photon? I mean, how did that happen?
When two photons love each other very much, they become entangled. And then no matter how far away one of the photons is from the other, they think and act as if they are one unit. And the government is trying to ban the ability for those photons to marry, and it's not right.
I believe in my heart of hearts that we are going to find out that this whole thing is bogus.
Danny, get a job. Get a job.
I'm just saying,
far too much fun.
I'm just saying Gene Roddenberry clearly came from the future and somehow was stranded in the past and just...
Yeah.
I think, you can say quantum entanglement and, teleportation, but how do they know it was the same photon?
That's what I'm asking.
It's all in the article. They all know. I don't know. It's science stuff. Like, I'm going to understand it. Actually, that was one of the things I'm like, I read that article and I thought, see, if only I had some time to write an article explaining what this article is trying to say.
Right.
Those are my two big goals in my life, my future. You want to know my plans? My plans are to explain how artificial intelligence actually understands things and to explain how quantum entanglement works.
Well, if all you have to do is ask Ji Gang Reng, Ping Shu, Hai Lin Yong, Liang Shang, Zhen Shai Kuao Lao, Juan Win, Wai Yue Liu, Wen Chi Kai, Meng Yang, Li, Kui Xingyang. I could go on and on. These are all the Chinese scientists who were involved in this. But we demonstrate successful quantum teleportation for 6 input states and mutually unbiased bases with an average fidelity of plus or minus 0.8, well above the classical limit. I think this is made up. I don't buy it for a minute.
Oh, I did read this, but this was published earlier than July 4th. This was
this is a new one. This is a big one.
It's a new one.
It's a big space. What makes it? No, satellite quantum. I swear to God, I read this because I am like Danny, fascinated by this.
Yeah, I wish I knew enough to understand it. This work establishes the first.
Yeah, June 15th in Science Magazine, China's quantum satellite achieves spooky action at a record distance.
Oh, that's spooky action. That's different.
No, it's the same study. It's
spooky action is not teleportation.
Okay. Teleportation isn't teleportation. Yes, this is quantum entanglement among the two photons, one from the satellite.
Yeah, see, this is they didn't mention two photons.
This is a journalism issue.
I said that in the very beginning. I said when two photons love each other.
Yeah, so if
it's right there.
When you say teleportation, my impression is one photon is taken and put in. Spooky, that's different. That's a photon interacting with a photon at distance, right?
Right. So, okay. So the issue what they did here was send it further because we have done the entanglement experiments before. So we've done it in the same room. We've done it from room to room. What they've done is much like light and fiber optics.
Yes.
You used to have you had to have repeaters to re-up your signal. What they did is they sent these entangled photons they sent it further without a repeater.
It would be better to say this is communication than teleportation.
Yes.
Because that's really what it is. It's sending data from point A to point B without being anywhere in between, which is a little
not sending you.
This is journalism trying to make something really esoteric interesting to more people. This is like when we say we've invented an invisible cloak, when we say we figured out how to refract light beams.
Right.
Which is still cool.
Yeah.
Wait, we have an invisible cloak?
Yes, Google invisible cloak. You'll find it.
You should wear it to Comic-Con.
Put it around the AT.
I've done too much. Too much.
Yeah.
But I am wearing a cloak to Comic-Con, and it's pretty awesome.
Good news. Anyway. I don't believe them, but Google says the Allo desktop client is coming. It's about as likely as an invisibility cloak.
Who cares?
Just what we've been waiting for. I'm going to tell all my friends on Google Plus about this.
If they just would turn on SMS integration, then they'd be done. Right?
Just it and go back and fix Google Voice, which was wonderful, or make Gmail your universal thing, or just
pick one. Just pick one.
Just launch an app called Google Messenger, because everybody else can have generic names, and combine all the stuff into one thing.
Thank you.
Gosh.
Now, this one's a little upsetting, but it is from the Wall Street Journal, so I'm going to let Jeff explain it. According to the Wall Street Journal, Google has been paying professors. Did you get any of this money, Google? Jeff, $500,000 to $400,000 for research supporting their business practices. Let me log in to get us.
Yeah, because I don't subscribe to the journal.
Past the paywall here.
Oh, I think it's Media, or they closed that one.
Oh, really? There's a back door?
Oh, there was. They just shut it down, and then everybody got upset. It used to be called Media.
If you just enter media as the login and media as the password.
And I didn't know that. So then all these people have gotten upset.
I've been paying $149 a year.
I know.
Is that all?
Yeah, it's not expensive. As long as you get the paper.
Yeah. Or
then you pay a total of what?
You just say, I don't need it. And they go, oh, no, we still want to continue to send you. We want you to continue to
charge you more if you don't get the paper.
Because they're ripping off the advertisers.
Right. See, we have circulation. See?
No, they're telling the advertisers that they still have people reading every single one of those ads in a print paper, and so it's therefore worth the money.
The myth of mass media, as I always tell my students, is that all readers see all ads, so we charge all advertisers for all readers.
Put a pin in that, because I do want to talk about that, because there is a move afoot in the podcast industry to do exactly that, and it scares the crap out of me. But I want to get back to this paying professors.
So, the one example I read was that the guy didn't disclose. That's bad. That's wrong. But Google is like Bell Labs of the age. They're paying lots of people to do lots of kinds of research. Now, how much of it is aimed at their lobbying, and how much of it is scientific research, and how much has benefit in other ways, I don't know.
The fact that a big company's doing this isn't surprising. Coca-Cola sponsors studies to show that drinking high fructose corn syrup is fine. It's good for your health. I mean, we've seen this for years. But we thought a little better of Google, that they wouldn't.
Well, but again, Leo, I'm not sure that. Don't forget, Google does support academic research and scientific research. So there may be a few examples in here, but what's the? And I couldn't see the list. I don't know what the list is because I don't subscribe to the journal.
Google, here, I'll read the quote. Google has paid professors whose papers, for instance, declared that the collection of consumer data was a fair exchange for its free services, that the company didn't use its market dominance to improperly steer users to Google's commercial sites or its advertisers. This is for the EU decision, obviously, and that it hasn't unfairly quashed competitors. Several papers argued that Google's search engine should be allowed to link to books and other intellectual property that authors and publishers said should be paid for. A group that includes News Corp, which owns the journal. News Corp formally complained to European regulators about Google's handling of news.
And therein
lies. There's the we know Rupert hates Google.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yeah. So I consider the source.
You think this is a hit piece?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that there aren't some papers that are illegit. I'm not saying that professors who don't reveal the funding are wrong, but I come at anything from Murdoch land about technology with a grain of salt the size of Utah. Yeah, and the only professors, I'm looking for names. They got one guy who said, no, I wouldn't take that money. I'm trying to find these here. And they also, to be fair, point out that Qualcomm, Verizon, and AT&T do the same thing.
And I thought Google's response on their blog was actually very good. Where they're like, yeah, we spend money, and guess what? We list all the people that we do. You can find it here, unlike our competitors, and unlike I guess the research firm that did all this research, but nobody knows who funds them. So they had a good pushback on it, I think. But the end.
Danny,
the end narrative will still be that Google gets paid money.
Yeah, because nobody can read the article; they can only read the headline.
Yeah. Speaking of attacks on tech companies, a couple of weeks ago, Danny, you did the best response to what I thought was a very irresponsible and sensationalistic, oddly enough, ProPublica Facebook attack on their training for site monitors. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That was that Google doesn't protect, was it young black people?
Yeah.
But it was
that was Facebook. ProPublica had done two different things that have ticked me off. One was Facebook is allowing racist ads or blacklisting, which they weren't doing at all, and they didn't do. And then the other thing was something I was really, really upset about it.
Yeah, you were so right.
It said that
clearly I've calmed down.
Yeah, because he doesn't remember it. It said that the censorship rules favored hate speech from white men.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh, I got him mad again.
You got him riled up again.
Really made me mad because I said, no, I got to find, I got to find.
I got your tweet.
I put it on, bring my tweet up. What did I say my alternative headline was? See the alternative headline? I was like, Facebook secret sensitive rules protect Muslim migrants, but not Irish teens. But they didn't write it that way. It was
a logic exercise of saying you have to have two categories to go into protected. So that was so black teens was an example of teens aren't protected, blacks are.
It's ProPublica has done this twice, and they've really ticked me off with it because I have a lot of respect for the work that they generally do.
But Julie Angwin, when she was at the Journal, she did the whole, oh my God, what they know thing against Google and Facebook, and now Propublica is doing the same thing.
A lot of that stuff was really good, and she did good work with that.
Yeah, that's very valuable stuff. Most people didn't know that.
But
it was also a lot of fear mongering and scare stuff.
These two things that have really annoyed me have been because they've taken a grain of something and twisted it to get the maximum amount of outrage. And I have to say, that's probably the goal. And with Facebook, it caused them to change policies that potentially could have been abused, but that they didn't show any evidence were being abused. But
well, in the article, Angwin says,
made it sound like.
So earlier this month, a U.S. congressman posted on Facebook that we should slaughter radicalized Muslims, hunt them, identify them, and kill them. This is Clay Higgins from Louisiana. Kill them all. For the sake of all that is good and righteous, kill them all. That was left up. But when a Boston poet and Black Lives Matter activist, Didi Delgado, tweeted, all white people are racist, start from this reference point or you've already failed, that was removed and her account was disabled for 7 days.
And to be clear here, I'm not going to defend the system of Facebook. I'm not going to say that it's faultless. It's not. The example she used to try to show that it was systemic rather than stupid was sensationalistic and wrong. That's my point. No, Facebook messes up. Witness the napalm photo. Yeah.
And
they usually fix it, right? Is that the point?
And their rules on where they censor, like from my understanding, and I dealt with this years ago with Google when I was trying to understand why they would remove things from auto-suggest or they wouldn't. They would get all tangled up with like, well, we do it for protected groups, but not for unprotected groups. You're like, what? And then you would start to get in, and I'm not a civil rights and civil protection expert, but from what I was understanding is that you would have protections under U.S. law for protected groups, meaning groups that are being targeted or that need it. So, like, for example, you might have laws that would protect discrimination against women, but you wouldn't have laws that would protect discrimination against, like, a 19-year-old or something like that. It is all, like, it is confusing, and it looks like they evolved their own rules to try to start off this way, and then they started adding more things. And I really want them to just have, like, we used to have this thing on our sites, we call it the common sense commenting policy. And it was like, we will remove anything that common sense tells you shouldn't have said or shouldn't have done, or the common decency. So, you want to have a polite discussion with someone, great. You do something and we think that people would use their common sense to say, yeah, you went over the line there, we'll pull it out. And it's hard, because it's really easy for us to sit back and criticize what they should have pulled this and then what they shouldn't have pulled that. And that story certainly had lots of stuff in it where you're like, yeah, why are you doing things inconsistently? Yeah. But what annoyed me the worst was their headline, which is all that a lot of people would see, gave the impression that what was their headline again? That their policy was designed to protect white men, which it was not any more than their policy.
It's based on this.
Their policy rules were not all. It makes it sound like they're designed to protect white men, not black children, but they're also protect black men, not white children, right. Or they also protect Muslim immigrants, but not white teenage Irish kids or whatever. It's like, because you can pick and choose whatever combination you want, but people certainly took away from that what I think they wanted to take away, what ProPublica wanted to take away, which the outrage thing.
This was part of it, and we talked a lot about it when it was leaked out, the Facebook rules for its censors. And if you take any piece of it out, it does seem kind of nonsensical. It's a difficult job. It's hard to make rules that will make a lot of sense. Although this is the rule that Angwin particularly quotes that gave her rise to the headline.
It was a quiz.
But that was the other thing that ticked me off. It was like, it's a stupid quiz when you look at it in that context. But if you think about it the way that you've typically taken tests, where you're trying to, you're trying to see if you catch someone out on it or whatever, you would immediately think most people would then say, oh, I'll show you the white men. You're like, well, we're not going to protect that. And then you're like, no, we would, because of these rules. And you need to understand those rules so that you can then also protect black men, and you can also attack Asian men and Hispanic men. And
it's misrepresentative to just look at this out of context, because
yes,
the question really is to say, do we do subsets of larger groups? No, we don't do subsets, female drivers or black children, but we would do black people or women. So that's what. But out of context, this doesn't make. This looks bad.
But that's
obviously.
exactly what this is bad journalism, and it was irresponsible, and it continues this war on the tech companies. And Julie's a very smart person and a very good journalist, but I've had this problem with her when she was at the Journal, and I have a problem with her when she's at Propublica, is that it's just attacking the tech companies for the sake of attacking them.
This is a hard one, though. I agree with you both that this is a challenging article, but how is a normal person to read this and understand that it's misrepresentative? I don't know if that's obvious.
Danny's Facebook post did an excellent job of explaining what was wrong with this article and the headline.
Like I said, I think they're doing good work and they're highlighting important issues. They're not the way I would have done it.
Propublica.
But
Propublica generally, absolutely.
I probably would have done it in a way that I would have tried to figure out to identify the issue in a way that wasn't just designed to stoke outrage. But having said that, they were successful in getting Facebook to change policy probably faster than they would have on the earlier thing. Even though they didn't demonstrate there was a problem, they just demonstrated there was potential of a problem. And I think that they will probably be as effective with this, that Facebook will make some needed changes. And they do need to make changes. There's valuable stuff in there. I don't like the idea that they did it in a way to present it as if Facebook was somehow, and I saw many people tweet this, that Facebook was being racist.
Yeah.
That
was the headline. See, and that's the other damage that happens, because if you read the ProPublica article, you might have been able to get some nuance out of it. But all the articles that rehashed the ProPublica article took all the nuance out and just basically said Facebook's racist.
Which is exactly what they knew would happen. And again, I think ProPublica is great. I admire the hell out of them, but this was an attack job.
You think this is advocacy then? In a way.
Yeah, generally I'm okay for advocacy too, but I wanted to be intellectual. I wanted to be intellectually honest.
Right.
This was intellectually dishonest. That's my problem with this.
Yeah, I think the headline was intellectually dishonest. I don't necessarily. I think it was probably just to get clicks. I mean,
that's not ProPublica's. Their model isn't to do that, Stacey. That's the problem. That's why.
Well, wait, because this has happened to me a lot. Getting clicks isn't. It's not just for ad revenue. It's so people actually read your stuff. So I am the worst headline writer in the entire world. It is really sad, but I feel like a lot of my stories are important. So I would go to people and I'd say, hey, can you sex this headline up for me? Because I would like for people to actually read it. I think ProPublica probably subscribes to that, and they probably went too far in this case.
They are the cream of the cream of responsible journalism. This was intellectually irresponsible. That's all. So, Danny, I wanted to thank you for expressing it. You know, the problem is, let's be clear here. I started the News Integrity Initiative, which got money from Facebook. So my ability, I know, is limited now to say this was unfair to Facebook. I probably would have anyway. And it was also very hard to explain. And Danny just did a far better job simply of explaining it. To your point, Leo, how would you explain this? Danny did.
Yeah.
Call Danny.
It's, I think it's hard. I admire you guys because you're journalists, and it's one of those. It's like being a monk. You have to constantly push yourself to truth and kind of avoid the winds that are pushing you towards trying to generate traffic for good reasons, like I just want people to read my work. Not necessarily for monetary reasons, but that's a hard thing to do. It requires some real dedication to say, I want to express the truth in a way that everybody can understand it and not misrepresent it. And
the people don't feel ripped off for having clicked.
And sometimes people fail at this.
Yes,
it's probably a very, very difficult thing to do. I know
it is.
I know it's certainly always in the back of my mind. Am I misrepresenting this? I want to represent the story as best I can, as accurately as I can. And it's hard to do. Certainly,
it's very interesting. I'm not a big fan of paywalls, and I don't think that's the solution to everything. But I talked to the Telegraph and the Guardian in London a couple months ago, where they're each trying to convert people into giving them money. Telegraph for premium content, not a pure paywall, just some stuff is premium, and Guardian for contributions, otherwise known as begging. they've both entered into a content reduction scheme. Because before, you in a volume-based business, you had to have more and more and more content, more stories, more headlines, more this, more that. And you got people who came by once and never came back. It wasn't the basis of a business. So now they're trying to by reducing the quantity, they increase the quality.
It's so funny.
And it's amazing.
I learned that lesson a long time ago, and I don't even have a paywall.
Yeah.
We did that at Gigum. Although I will say the information does that, right? That was their kind of.
They do that very well.
But they have since launched an aggregation newsletter.
I know.
Because you still have to have all of it. I mean, we fought this. We dealt with this not every day, but every quarter at GigaOM when we were like, how many stories? What quality should they be? How much time? Because like, you could spend forever reporting out something really awesome.
You're talking about this briefing thing that they do now?
Yes.
This is still, I have to say, they pick, 5 articles? It's not, well, actually, it's more than that now, but it's not a lot. I mean, they still kind of boil it down a little bit.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that we're still trying to figure out the model for...
Right. Yeah, we struggled with it. We launched a bunch of shows and realized that wasn't adding to our value and have cut back quite a bit.
Yeah.
Which is, and then, of course, you've had the other thing that happened this week with the newspapers wanting to band together against Google and Facebook.
Yes, but that's for negotiating. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Give me the story.
Well, they tried to do this a few years ago, and they've come back at it. And basically, they said, look, we're going to lobby Congress that we should be excluded from antitrust rules of colluding with each other because we need to be able to do that in order to get all the money that Google and Facebook have stolen away from us. It's rightfully ours because apparently somehow they were all supposed to be entitled to all the digital ad revenue. They don't have any plan. They don't have any specifics about how they would collude. There's no idea about what it is that they think. Like, I don't know. I guess if they all get together, maybe they can then say to Facebook, you can't send us traffic anymore, or we'll block your links or something. They don't know what they want to do. They just want to get together, and they somehow think that. But, it's been effective in the sense that in Europe, they get together more often, and then, Google throws, tens of millions here or 20 million there for some innovation thing. And
aren't they Aren't they mostly interested in just getting a good deal? Because Facebook's talking now about charging people for, content. Aren't they interested in just getting a good deal when their stuff is on Facebook?
So if you go to
But what's the good deal? That's the problem. It's like, I don't know what they want to negotiate for what.
So Axios has a good summary of this. The post, I linked to the Axios post in my piece. Axios does a very good job, by the way, of cutting things down to the essence. So they asked for 4 things.
Yeah, I had issues with that, but go on.
All right, 4 things. One is increased advertising revenue sharing, right? It's negotiation. So we're going to go to the government and we're going to get them to pass laws against you, and we're going to do nasty things unless you increase the rev share to us. Number 2, create more support for news subscription models, which they, in fact, Facebook and Google are doing. Number 3, improve data sharing, which I agree with. And number 4, better brand support. Well, that's also coming down the pike. So really what they're doing is they're trying to create a cartel here to get tough. Now, meanwhile, in France this week, there were also 2 new things announced. I'm forgetting the name of them suddenly. That are basically, it's also antitrust. It brought together all the publishers to create new ad networks so that they can get almost as big a population as an audience as Google. They're called Gravity and Skyline, and they're 2 big French ad networks. That requires, excuse from antitrust. But if you're going to create your own competitor to Google, I'm cool with that. But this idea that Google is evil and bad and they should give us the money we used to have. No, Google gives advertisers a better deal. And the problem is they constantly expect Google and Facebook to change when the publishers refuse to change. Arr.
Publishers are really slow to change. Good Lord.
Oofa.
Oh.
You know who else is slow to change? Real estate appraisers.
I was waiting. I was like, tell me more about your segue, Levi.
This is from Axios. I just saw this as I was scrolling by trying to find the article you were talking about, Jeff. Apparently, real estate appraisers are worried because computers do a better job. Zillow is getting so good at appraising home value. There's not much need for appraisers, which is a nice, solid middle-class profession. Requires a 4-year degree, lots of experience. Pays 40% more per hour than the median job. But in a newsletter, Brian Weaver wrote, "The future for appraisers specializing in residential mortgage work is coming to an end. No bang, not even a whimper." So they're looking also to change government regulation to protect them.
Yeah, agents also can't stand Zillow because
it's happening everywhere.
The customers are experts now.
Right.
Well, so Zillow, I felt like they had, hold on. There are some, was it a study? But they were talking about the appraisals on Zillow, like a good hunk of them, like 30% were like way off. So their bell curve was not a true bell curve. So I think, I can't remember the details, so I'm trying to look this up to figure out like, oh, that's a real estate company. I'm not gonna click on that because that is probably not unbiased.
They might have an opinion in that.
And maybe it was a lawsuit. Let's see. It is a lawsuit. That's what I was reading about. So it's a lawsuit filed by suburban Chicago home builders against Zillow on their appraisals. And that's kind of interesting. So actually, if this lawsuit goes anywhere, maybe we'll see kind of some real research. So let's see. This is a Market Watch story. Zillow's estimates mislead home buyers. Lawsuit claims yes.
I don't know how you could get the courts to enforce that. That's interesting.
But maybe they're after it because, holy cow, this is our jobs. This is a common thing.
Twitter's hired a new chief financial officer, Ned Segal. Do we care? I don't know. Does it matter?
No.
They're slowly filling the chairs in the C-suite.
I feel like I'm Dvorak right now. No, don't care. Move on. Is that news? No,
it's not news. Who cares? Who cares?
Let's see. There was something. I'm scrolling through here trying to figure out because there was something I was excited about. Okay.
Galaxy Note 8 might even launch as early as August 23rd. I bet you the Pixel and the Note 8 come out late August because, honestly, once they've got to distance themselves from the iPhone launch. We were talking about this earlier, so I wouldn't be surprised if they move that release up. Well, you can get the Note 7 Fan Edition now in, I think, is it Korea? It's very limited. And I don't know, when they say fan, do they mean a cooling fan or they mean you're a fan of the product? I'm not sure which. But it's refurbished Note 7s. The Note 7 was a nice phone, but I have a feeling...
It has a little, Leo, I hear it has a little tiny fire extinguisher on the back.
the fan edition. So did anybody buy anything on Prime Day?
Oh, yeah. I did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Stacey, what'd you buy?
Oh, I bought another Amazon Echo because unlike Leo, the Echo Show is not something that my husband really loves having in our house. He finds it doesn't work as well. So...
Oh, you already had one and tried it, and he doesn't like it?
Dude, we talked on it, Leo.
Oh, that's right. So you sent it back?
No, I've got it in my office. I'm going to move it to the office when the show comes, or the Echo comes tomorrow.
You got the black tube, but it is a big discount.
It was $90.
It's a great price.
Yeah.
I got it too. I've never had an Echo, so I got one.
It's about time, Jeffrey.
Welcome to the world, Jeff. I have all kinds of things for you.
The Dot was even cheaper. What was the Dot? $35? Oh,
yeah,
look.
but the Dot's...
Jeff's got a Google Home. That was the best-selling product.
Yeah.
Which is no surprise because, like, virtually any category you went into for Prime would be
it's
like...
a Dot. Buy a Dot. Don't you want to buy a Dot?
Like, homeware, Dot. Bathroom supplies, Dot.
Clothing.
I did not buy an Instant Pot. It was close. I almost bought an Instant Pot, but then I realized...
I love my Instant Pot.
I have a Breville fast slow cooker. It's the same thing, so I don't need an Instant Pot. That
you can do slow cooking now in the gym.
Yeah, but I could do both. I could slow cook, and it's a pressure cooker, and I can also fast cook because it can brown, and it does everything, and I don't need an Instant Pot, but that just shows you the power of Prime Day. I almost bought one. Instead, I bought a sous vide setup.
I spent probably an hour going through page after page after page. There was nothing.
No.
Very little.
In fact,
if it wasn't an Amazon appliance, it's not a great deal.
Your publication, and I like saying your publication, Stacey, because you've been writing for the Wirecutter, every year does an analysis of Prime Day. I'm trying to find their analysis this year. It was pathetic. That, you know, like the number of deals, 25,000, the number of actual savings deals, here it is, the best deals of the day. After scanning thousands of Prime deals, I think that like several hundred were good out of the tens of thousands offered.
Oh, what was good? What was good?
The best Mr. Coffee's Optimal Brew 10-cup cheap coffee maker runner-up. See, why, you know, you really got to be in the market for that. The NVIDIA Shield, that would be good. How much? See, it's $200 normally. I don't know what it was on Prime Day, but that I like the Shield. I'd recommend that. Google Home and Chromecast streaming, refurbished Roku stick. Don't recommend it. Tile Bluetooth tracker.
Oh, that was half off.
Half off.
You got to scroll up. The logo's blocking you now. Thank you.
Topo.
Amazon sold 60% more. It was the biggest sales day in its history, up 60% over 2016. So even if the deal sucked, people still were like, yeah, Prime Day, which, by the way, y'all, also Slurpee Day at 7-Eleven.
Ooh, that's a tough
Better
choice.
Deal. Free Slurpees.
Ooh, that's a tough choice.
My favorite tweet of the day yesterday bemoaned that Prime Day has now become so commercial.
I'm going to assume that was sarcasm.
It used to be a deeply religious holiday, and now it's just about buying stuff. 7,000.
Oh, no, that was the best one from last year. Someone said, I remember when Prime Day was a celebration of Transformer of Optimus Prime.
Oh, that Prime. 7,950 deals scanned. Of the 7,950, Wirecutter said it's only 64 were a good deal.
Wow.
So, in fact, some things cost more on Prime Day. They actually raised the price on Prime Day.
Wow.
You know, I did go looking for the Putin-Trump gold phone on Prime Day, and I was so disappointed
couldn't
I didn't find it.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Boy, was that a beaut.
Yeah.
Didn't we? We talked about that last week, right?
Did we?
I don't think we talked about it.
Oh, we talked about it on Twit.
Here. Twit, yeah, sorry.
This was a beautiful phone made by, there it is, a Russian, it was a Nokia 3310, so don't laugh at it. That's a modern phone. Well, it's not a smartphone, but it is modern. And look at that. It has a medal symbolizing the G20 summit between Vladimir Putin and our president. There they are, featured in profile on a gold coin with lovely gray wood accents. And it's only $2,500. But I bet you'll be able to get it cheaper soon. Somehow.
True.
Somehow, I think. Maybe not. That could be quite a memento someday. Okay. You know, anything else?
You wouldn't show, porn stars support net neutrality. So, that's my best I had to offer.
That was as good as it gets.
That was it. There's the world's tiniest Google Street View car.
I saw that. That was cute.
It's cute.
It's cute. It's very cute.
It's not a real one.
Well, no, it has a camera on it.
Oh, it does? I thought it was like just a model in a...
Oh, is that all? Oh,
in the Neuschwanstein Castle there.
Oh.
How do you pronounce that?
Neuschwanstein.
That's a crazy Ludwig's castle in Bavaria there.
Oh, it's not. No, it's obviously not real. Sorry. Oh, I get disappointed. I thought.
Well, I think the giant fingers are the giveaway there, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, but it's cute.
Oh yeah, it's adorable. The Germans love these.
The Germans
things.
are filing suits against Google because of this for violating the little plastic people's privacy.
That would be so great. Google has not asked for the permission of the small miniature people to have on the speed test.
Damn right.
We have filed a lawsuit against them. Sorry, I went on French, I guess. I don't know. I can't do accents.
And no wonder the Europeans hate us. Best Buy. So
fuzzy. I don't know what the hell happened, but as soon as I said that my broadband was great, it's just crapped out on me.
Yeah. Happy Net Neutrality Day there, Danny.
It's fine on my phone though. On my desktop, it's my desktop. Everything on my desktop's come to a grinding halt. I don't know why.
So I didn't realize this, but Amazon is building a competitor to the Geek Squad, Best Buy's
I didn't know that either. Yeah, that's a big
service.
story.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the graph. This is Best Buy's stock price. That announcement comes out. Bow! It's like a cliff. Best Buy lost $1 billion in market value. And by the way, I'm amazed Best Buy has $1 billion to lose in market value.
Kevin
What's wrong
Toll
with
still,
Stevens doing
actually,
these
he's
days?
going less. I was going to say, he used to go to Best Buy all the time.
Used to.
Well, even like up to like 6 months ago.
Did Kevin talk on your show about his announcement?
We didn't talk on the show about
So I won't say anything until we get him on. Just as I didn't mention anything about Danny Sullivan's announcement. But Kevin
There you
apparently has moved on from Google, and we'll get him on.
And
now we can get him on because he's not at Google anymore. We can get him on.
That's
he
true.
and I talked about that this morning.
We'd love
It's
to.
like,
Oh, good. That'd be great.
Yeah, because we weren't allowed to talk to him while he was. He wasn't a staff employee. He was a consultant there, right?
he was a consultant.
Yeah.
So, but I told him actually, because I'm going to go on vacation. And I was like, Kevin, you could just be me.
Oh,
Only
yeah.
you'd be Kevin.
Can you leave the dress? And he
He's
could
going
dye
to
his
wear
hair.
his Beatles shirt.
Oh yeah, he's
And the dog.
He's a serious Beatle guy. Yes. When are you going on vacation?
Sometime in a couple weeks. Seattle.
Oh, how fun!
What's
Are you
the
I was going to
vacation?
do at least one show from Seattle.
Yeah, you must if you can.
One day I'm going to be whale watching. So, woohoo.
Fun. So you're not going to be doing any work, no conferences or anything up there? Just
No work. I might do office hours. Office hours.
that's the problem when you own your own business. You can never really take any time off.
Nope.
We talked about it yesterday on Security Now. Steve Gibson was fairly upset. I am too. W3C, the World Wide Web Consortium, which was created and run by Tim Berners-Lee and others, but Tim, of course, the inventor of the World Wide Web, probably has a pretty big voice there. They've been debating back and forth adding extensions to the web specification for HTML5, extensions that would enable copy protection. And they have decided to do it, although it is currently open for comment. So maybe if everybody said, no, don't do it, the encrypted media extensions would let content providers encrypt and protect audio and video content from within their plugin-free HTML and JavaScript applications. The way you have to do it right now, of course, if you're going to watch Netflix, you have to download special stuff. If you're going to watch, otherwise you can't because they can't protect the content. I think that Tim Berners-Lee's feeling was, well, we got to do it because otherwise, the world is fragmented with all these web plugins. But the Electronic Frontier Foundation and many others didn't like this idea, in particular because it would prevent, thanks to the DMCA, prevent researchers from examining how they work, looking for security issues. And Tim wasn't even willing to allow a little bit of that. Anyway, it's a bit of a controversy. No compromise was allowed.
I wish Kevin Marks was here because I sit there and I feel like this kind of controversy makes me, I don't know, long for the original days of the early web.
Yeah.
But the web is broken. It has been broken since we introduced mobile everywhere.
Well, and Flash exists because of this. That's why Flash exists. One of the reasons is for copy protection and Silverlight. So they don't want that. They want to get rid of those days, right? Everything's HTML5. I can understand that point.
I feel like the open web died and we should.
I know. So many things have died, Stacey.
Mourn it and move on and accept, but Kevin would disagree with me.
No,
possibly.
he wants to save it.
I know.
He would have a lot to say about this. Steve had a lot to say about it. We'll leave you
go look that up.
To go look that up, exactly. So one of the things that's going on right now, a couple of weeks ago, Apple's iTunes, Apple announced that it was going to keep track of how much of a podcast people listen to. And now the IAB, the Interactive Advertising Bureau, is contemplating rules to encourage all podcast players to keep track of this information because advertisers would very much like to know not merely if you downloaded it, but how much of it you listened to. Now, this is, of course,
And how could
information
you know that?
they can't get from magazines. They can't get from newspapers. You know, that's all they can
And
find
how
out
could they
is
get it from
circulation.
podcasts that are downloaded?
You would
How do you
have,
get
well, and this is my problem. iTunes can do it because you use iTunes to listen. You would have to use software that enabled it. And the IAB is hoping that all the manufacturers of podcast apps will start building in this approved system. And I certainly hope not. And I know our listeners don't like the idea that people would be keeping track of their listening habits. However, it would be, I think it'd be bad for podcasting because inevitably it would drive rates down.
Because you don't.
Because we know people don't listen.
Right. Well,
We know the number of people who
stop
listen
at a
is
certain-
somewhat lower than the number of people who download it. It could be a lot lower.
Right.
We don't know. And now I don't.
But in the case of Twit, you also have the poor prisoner listeners, the wives listening next to the geek husbands in the car.
There's all sorts of problems with it. You know,
Prisoner listeners.
if you know, if
Or
you-
the opposite.
we have a lot of listeners who don't
Yes.
believe in tracking and will seek out ways to listen that isn't tracked. So we'll have a disproportionate number of listeners who aren't counted. There's all sorts of problems with it. The real problem is that in this, I knew this would happen 2 years ago. Remember, everybody was all excited about podcasts. They're back. It's a renaissance, mostly because big name brands like NPR started doing really well with their podcasts. And then, of course, advertisers discover podcasts. And then as soon as there's money, then all of this starts. And it's the corporatization of what has been up to now a very freewheeling and relaxed medium. I hope it doesn't continue.
The nice thing is, and this will be a question, of business models, is can you, with this data that advertisers will seek, can you engage your audience or get them other ways? Like I know that giving user access codes actually is fairly successful because doesn't Blue Apron have an entire strategy around that?
Yeah, well, that's the point is our advertisers and most podcast advertisers do what's called direct response advertising where, you know, you go to blueapron.com/twig and they count that. But ultimately, all advertisers really care about is, well, we bought $10,000 of ads and we generated $20,000 worth of new business. That was worth it. That's really all that matters. This other stuff is kind of messy because it might lead them to say, well, we only want to pay $5,000 for those $20,000 worth of results. We produce good results. Our advertisers wouldn't come back, but this would be used to kind of drive prices down. Actually, I'm not worried for us so much, but it will hurt young new podcasts who don't have the kind of audience and advertising success that we do.
Ta-da!
We'll be fine. I don't think it'd affect us at all. We can prove that we work. People make money off the ads. So
I don't know. I'd like most of like I want to say 60-something% of my audience doesn't use iTunes, which I find surprising. Is all get
well,
out.
that's part of the problem. Is that Apple? Yeah, ours is less than half. And of course, it's bad for podcasts like ours with sophisticated listeners. It's good for podcasts that like Serial, where it's mostly iTunes because they brought in a lot of new listeners. So Apple's numbers will be more accurate for them. But Apple's numbers really won't reflect your listenership or mine. I know nobody really cares about this, but we mentioned put a pin in it.
But you and I.
We care because we're trying to make a living doing this stuff.
Because I got gadgets to buy.
I gotta buy some gadgets.
And the truth is that the advertisers have already made their own discounts for this.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's not as if this has been the case for years and years and years. I go back to the myth of mass media. The myth of mass media's class is that all readers see all ads, so we charge all advertisers for all readers.
That's right.
And it was beautiful while it lasted, and that's why you needed to audit the circulation of a publication.
Right.
But you know, TV Guide was seen to have 2 readers per copy. People had 8 readers per copy in the syndicated research. 8 readers read every copy of People, and that's what they charged the advertisers for in the audience. Advertisers knew that was BS.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why advertisers would like better numbers. They
always want more data.
Yeah,
and because it also discounts it for them.
That's the main thing. Is I fear that they'll use that to discount it. We've got a nice little thing going here. They're happy. We're happy. Let's not add facts to the issues.
Well, this is the challenge of increasing data across all businesses.
Right.
We're going to see this everywhere. I call it the end of the deal, but in some ways it's just, I mean, are you ready for liquidity, information liquidity? So I don't know.
Is that Andrew?
Hello?
That was Andrew.
He looks good in shorts. That's a good-looking man. Andrew, come back. Andrew!
Shouldn't he have been crawling on the floor to pull somebody out of the missed opportunity?
He may not want to be introduced.
Oh, he's cute. That was cute.
You want to be introduced to the...
That was a nice little cameo.
Yeah, we want to meet Andrew.
Come here, Andrew. Oh, there's
There's the lucky man.
Hello.
He looks every bit as sweet and kind as you've said many times over and over on this show.
They're saying nice things about you.
He doesn't buy it. That's nice.
She can stay. She can stay in here. We won't fight with the dog.
This very much is like that BBC guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was bringing in something. So the iPhone, we found it in my daughter's backpack.
Oh.
So.
How did that happen?
Oh, really? Really?
Jeff's kids grew up before the phone thing.
Yeah.
Facebook's going to sell advertising inside Messenger. Are you happy? Are you happy now?
A lot of people use that. I would.
Yeah.
That's a big whomp of money is going to fall to them right off the bat.
I have to say, I have to give Facebook some credit and Instagram, their subsidiary brand, some credit. Those ads work. I find myself buying a lot of stuff from Facebook and Instagram, whereas a lot of the ads I see on other places, I don't even see them.
Yeah. I got an ad from Google yesterday and Facebook offering me a special offer. I could get Google Home for only $99.
And you noticed
on Prime Day.
Yeah.
I did, only because I'm like, wow. I've got Google decided they need to advertise on Facebook.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Isn't that it? It works.
The other thing, Leo, is that we did a study at CUNY together with Contently, where we looked at proper labeling of advertisers, and the label that most works, that most people most understand, is sponsored. Yeah. And it's the label that Facebook has trained us to do.
Yep.
So people understood what an ad was on Facebook better than on media sites.
I'm very encouraged by the fact that people are starting to understand that it's okay to label an ad, and it's not okay not to. My son, my 22-year-old son, said it's skeezy. It's those Snapchat ads, all that native content. It's skeezy. I don't like it. He knows the difference. People know the difference. I also saw a study that...
Skeezy or skeevy?
Skeevy or skeezy. I don't know what the exact consonant is in the middle there. But and then I also saw a study that said that when you use sex in advertising, it is counterproductive. That people remember it, but they don't remember the brand. And when they do remember their brand, they think less highly of it because you've played the sexy card. And I was very encouraged by both of those facts.
Me too.
Consumers know the difference. They don't, and I think that's why Facebook and Instagram works. Every 10th Instagram post, there's an ad. You know it's an ad. It's clearly labeled as an ad. You can scroll by it. There's not 1,000 ads. There's one. I think that works very well. It's very effective. Just saying. Is it just me? Maybe it's just me.
No, it is good if people are getting, although it's interesting because on the one hand, you have people getting savvier about when they're being manipulated, and yet you still have surveys that say people don't recognize what ads are.
Well,
you would see that all the time with the search results. Like, well, I don't know that was an ad. Right. And I didn't recognize that was an ad. But then again, those are a little harder to see.
Those are the professors Google didn't pay.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's why.
So when's Microsoft paid?
Yeah. All right. I think we can move on unless you guys have anything I've left out.
Just one curiosity. What does Steve and you think of Kaspersky Lab?
Well, it's ironic because John C. Dvorak used to recommend Kaspersky all the time. I mean, that was his favorite antivirus company. I was never a big fan because Kaspersky held on longer than anybody to this idea that you could use a virus definition file and scan for strings, and that would be enough. They were the slowest to adopt more advanced technologies. And now I think it's become clear that Kaspersky's been working with Russian intelligence. In fact, didn't Congress just say that you can't use Kaspersky anymore in in their some government purchases. I can't remember what the story was, but
I've met Eugene Kaspersky in Davos.
What do you think?
A nice guy. I think he knows his stuff about strategy.
Davos.
I know. Sorry.
Kaspersky says it's a pawn in the U.S.-Russia geopolitical game, but the United States has banned. The GSA has banned Kaspersky Labs antivirus software from U.S. government systems and networks because of the concern of espionage. Not that the antivirus doesn't work, but that it might be bearing other malware loads.
It works fine for Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah. Kaspersky Lab has no ties to any government, and the company has never helped nor will help any government in the world with its cyber
Danny, you can take accent lessons from Leo.
Exactly. Oh, Leo's great.
Very good at it.
Mine go all over the place.
The company is being unjustly accused.
Let's do a world tour with Leo. Okay, real quick. Germany.
The communication was misinterpreted or manipulated.
France.
It regularly cooperate with law enforcement agents.
Israel.
I'm not going to do Israel. That's too risky.
Ireland.
No, I'm going to stop. Come on. You're just making everybody crazy. Although I have been tempted. You see that the Waze app now allows you to add custom voices of your own voice if you want to your navigation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, catching up to TomTom.
Yeah, finally catching up to TomTom. But could you add your own voice with TomTom? I know you could add celebrity voices, but
no, you have one. In fact, I have it in my drawer because it's the only way for me to preserve my kids saying "turn right, turn left."
Oh, so you could record your own. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I guess it's in the sound settings. I haven't done it yet. What I'm going to try to figure out is if you can package them up and offer them to other people, because we'd love to have Jeff Jarvis saying, "What are you doing? Always turn left." Kind of good.
I'd like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, so when you go to voice, wouldn't that be fun? Everything you do is a left turn.
Yes. I'm a lefty.
When you go into
turn left.
Turn left.
Just constantly turn left.
Just turn left. No right turns. When you go into voice directions, there's a new thing that says record new voice.
Oh, that's great.
And be extra clear for safety. Don't be screwing around. And then it tells you what you should record. So
I'm totally
there's quite a bit, right? You know, and
so I'm waiting for.
I hope that this gets saved to the cloud or somewhere so it stays with your settings, because that's a lot of work to set all those things up.
Yeah. And it tells
murder mystery. There's gonna be a CSI where somebody goes in and records go right when it's really go left.
Well, actually, I had on my TomTom GLaDOS from the game Portal, the evil computer, and she would always tell you the wrong direction.
Oh, jeez.
And then she'd say, "There's cake," but it was great. I loved GLaDOS. So I thought I'd do it as a surfer dude. All set, let's go. We're all set. Start driving, man. Let's get started. We could have some fun.
This is perfect for spouse annoyance.
I enabled that on my Amazon Echo because of, I think it was like the Finding Nemo ad thing. You could get the surfer dude to wake you up. It's like, "Hey, man, it's time to get up." And my husband was like, "Andrew," he was very patient. He turned to me and he said, never do that again.
I also had Dennis Hopper on my TomTom. That was kind of trippy. Why would anyone want to go here? So anyway, that's a nice feature now in Waze. Thank you, Google. I wish this is what we need everything to do, right? We should be able to record our own Echo voices and Google Home voices and everything.
I would love to do. I've always wanted to do voiceover work.
You have a beautiful voice. You have a very rich, deep voice, and you would be great for that.
So a company just raised $18 million. It's called Voice. I think it's voices.com to do voiceover work. And I got to say, I'm very excited about it.
Do it. You've got a good microphone.
I do. Thank you.
You could totally do this. I'd be cautious about these. There have been other things like this before where you sign up and do voice work and it's not. Yeah, but
there's a company called Spoken Layer. Have you heard of them? Very interesting company I saw at the BetaWorks Lab Day, and I saw them earlier. They're really good guys, and they enable the spoken web. So a third of the news content on Google Home is their platform. And so they do some computer voice, but a lot of human voice. And so magazine articles, all kinds of these companies can go to them, and then they have a platform that, Stacey, you could go in and you can get paid for doing the
So there was
voicing.
there was an app I loved. Lisa and I both used all the time called Umano that had humans reading articles. Same idea.
This is
it went out of
Layers
business.
is this.
Yeah.
Spoken Layers doing this because it's B2B to the companies, and it's really interesting. Nice guys, great guys.
So you could, it says get on Echo Google Home now. I'm going to find out more about this. I would love to do this. Oh, you can audition. Stacey, you can audition.
Woo!
So once your audio is ready, so you could either read Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC review, North Korea successfully tests missiles that could reach Alaska. I'll do that Russian. North Korea celebrated on Tuesday as it claimed to have successfully launched the country's first intercontinental ballistic missile. So you read that, and then that's a Slate article, and then send it to them. Thoughts and tips. Everyone deserves to have their name pronounced correctly. Please look up any words or names you don't find familiar. Think podcaster, not broadcaster. Imagine you're speaking to an audience of one.
You're not talking like this.
Yes, do not proclaim.
There's a guy who does all the serious commercials, and I hear them all the time because I listen to MSNBC in the car, and he says, "Business says." Business says.
I have some pet peeves. I have definitely some pet peeves about people. I won't name names, but I sometimes go crazy when I hear some of the announces on various places.
The other company you might like in your devices is called Earplay.
What's that?
And a creative platform for publishing interactive audio experiences. And families, actually, Stacey, you might like this, but they're finding families like to do it with their kids. It's like the old radio, but you know, you stop and then say, well, should they go left or should they go right? Should they pick up the knife or not pick up the knife or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, choose your own adventure via voice. How fun is that?
Yeah. Really? I find those
Actually,
very annoying.
I hated
I don't
choose
like
your
them
own
either,
adventure.
but I thought
I never liked that.
My husband liked them. For what that's worth. Ooh, closet. Sorry, ignore me. I'm setting up a gadget for y'all.
All right, I'll do an ad, and then we'll come back. And Danny, if you have a pick, and it could be anything. It could be a surfboard you like. It could be
anything.
Your favorite taco shop in San Diego, whatever you're in the mood for.
Not a Google pick, just any pick?
Anything.
Any pick, anything. Because, Danny, you're now a man of leisure.
You don't have to pick, stuff from
You can pick your favorite sunset.
Yeah. What movies have you seen lately? Anything. A book that you like.
Big Sick.
Oh, Big Sick. Good. Big Sick. You should go see the Big Sick.
What is Big Sick?
Really good. It's imagine.
We're doing a pick. Wait a minute.
My big Greek wedding, except he is not getting married and he is Muslim and she's
it's Aziz Ansari.
Not Aziz. No. No, they don't all look alike, Leah.
Well, he looks just like Aziz Ansari.
It's not Aziz Ansari.
No, he doesn't. He looks totally different. It's
he's the guy from Silicon Valley.
Oh, that's who I'm thinking of. Yeah. Kumail Nanjiani.
No, that just made it worse. That just made it worse.
Yeah.
Big Sick.
I can't win. I just can't win.
No, you can't. No, you can't. Boys will be boys.
It's really good.
And that's Emily. No, that's not. Never mind.
Well, the character,
wrote it. Gordon.
The Big Sick. So you guys have seen this?
She's not in it. She didn't play herself. The other actress.
Oh, Emily's on it. Did you see it?
It was really hard to see. We had to like there was one showing at one theater.
Yeah, it's finally
we had
going
to hunt
wide.
it down, but it's going into mass release. I think there's some
you
kind
can play
of weird strategy.
The trailer's good. You can play the trailer for a minute. It's good.
It's really good.
Really?
In fact, the trailer has too many of the jokes from the movie, but it's good.
Yeah, I hate that when they do that.
But it's a good trailer.
Then it's very disappointing when
That's
you.
like every Disney movie ever.
Oh, I love it. Aziz Ansari is in it.
This was fun. We're just gonna call an Uber.
Your driver will be ready as soon as he puts on his pants.
That was funny.
Oh no, he's her driver. Oh, I get it.
Dating this girl. She's
Well,
white. A white girl. It's okay. We hate terrorists.
Can you imagine a world in which we end up together?
I don't know.
Oh, this is good. I'm going to stop now.
She was
Now we
Stop
get
now.
the plot, right?
It's very good.
We get the plot. You get the plot.
You do. No, you do, but you don't. But you do, but you don't. But it's good.
Brown guy, white girl. Can they find love in this modern world when he can't get on a plane?
No, it's much more nuanced.
And she gets harassed by venture capitalists.
No.
No?
But,
I'm just trying to make it timely and topical.
It's just it's a really nice romantic comedy with twists and things that you don't normally get.
Well, clearly from the title, something bad happens to her.
Yes,
we won't give it away.
She's going to get sick.
It's not giving it away. Every article has talked about her medically induced coma.
Spoiler.
I like Ryan O'Neal, but I haven't seen Ally McGraw in a movie in years, so I'm glad that they brought that love story back.
Oh yeah. That's
yeah. You know, the guy who wrote Love Story, Eric Siegel?
Siegel.
Eric Siegel was a very cynical fella and said before he wrote it, I'm going to formulaically write a best-selling novel.
Well done, sir.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done. When wealthy
nailed
Harvard
that one.
University law student Oliver Barrett IV, not Brown, meets Jenny Cavallari, Ally McGraw.
I'm thinking of the song now, and I'm going to be all sad. I can't even look. No, it's bringing back all the memories. You know, like your
Daddy
in the
softy.
70s. Oh, no.
The story of a love that never...
Why don't you just bring up the boy in the plastic bubble already? No. Oh, no, stop it. It's awful.
Ryan O'Neal, the worst actor in the history of the world. Not that Ally McGraw is so expressive.
This passed as classical music in America for a decade.
Yeah.
And then we had to have, and there was the other one. What was the one where like the other one where there's a
The
couple
Burning
and it
Bed,
was
Farrah Fawcett?
No, Sunshine on My Shoulders, and it was all like, come on.
John Denver?
You know the other one? It was like the TV movie, and it was all like, oh. And then everybody was dying in the 70s.
Well, that's thanks to the Big Sick.
Sad.
That's coming back. Get ready. You know what it indicates? It indicates it's like the sick joke cycle. There's a guy at Berkeley, Alan Dundas, who's an expert, a sociologist expert on this. Sick jokes always reflect the deep malaise we feel in a society about a big topic. So there were dead baby jokes when the abortion debate was at its peak. There were elephant in the refrigerator jokes when we were dealing with racial bias. And then people get sick because we're dealing with a Republican-controlled Congress. I don't know. Anyway, it breaks down after a while. Okay, I'm going to move on.
Yeah.
You freaking liberals, you're making me nuts.
Do you have an ad to do?
I do, but I don't really want to put it right up against that. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, I can give you another pick, but...
Yeah, would you just distract us briefly?
I've got some Android things
Here's
here.
a deal alert.
Toys.
Wait a minute. Deal alert just come in.
Oh, there you go.
This deal alert just come in. A single Google Wi-Fi, just $99.99 at Amazon. $30 off. I don't know why you'd want one of those, but you could get it. Deal alert. What was the disease of the week last week?
Oh, you brought us back there. Why are you doing that?
Why would you do that, Leo?
You were all queued up for the ad.
A little more classical music. A little
we
more.
Can laugh about Google Allo again. You got us into a high note.
Okay.
This was when trailers didn't actually have to have anything but stills, apparently.
Then he's gonna
I don't think that was a thing.
Google spared 1.3.
I'm just checking Wikipedia for sad movies of the 1970s. I'm going to see if they have a.
How about The Way We Were?
Oh no, that's terrible.
Okay, guys.
Do you know my wife just watched that?
Man.
I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil her. She watched it. She gets to the end. She goes, "I can't believe it ended that way." It's
yeah,
like,
he walks off.
I'm like, the movie's called The Way We Were, not The Way We Are.
Not the way we are.
It's like right there.
Everybody's saying that Brian's song is the one you're trying to remember, Danny. Is that right, Brian's song?
Yeah, well, Brian's song too, but no, it was like another woman who died. It was like a love story ripoff.
Google has
But Brian is,
a victory in French court. Google has spared a $1.3 billion tax bill because Google Ireland does not have to have a permanent establishment in France.
That's going to be handy to pay off the EU fine for antitrust.
Yeah.
Get some part of the way there. Yeah. Google did not illegally dodge French taxes by routing sales in the country out of Ireland, according to a Paris administrative court today.
And why is Bloomberg hyphenating search engine?
Oh, my God. What is going on?
Well,
Danny, we need you back. We need you back.
No, because Danny, Danny, this is right. Danny, two nouns that modify a third noun are hyphenated.
Oh.
Yes.
Search engine giant is proper use of hyphenation.
That way.
That is proper.
That is proper.
That way.
So then if they say search engine,
if it had said cell space phone giant, would they have hyphenated the cell phone?
Yeah, what if they said what if they said giant search engine?
If you said high school player,
that would be hyphenated.
High school
player, you'd hyphenate.
Wow, I just learned something. I did not know that, but I recognize that.
But high isn't a noun.
Yes, it is.
School's the noun. High is the modifier.
Well, two, but two words to modify the third.
It's an engine that searches. Searching engine.
That's why you never hyphenate an ly, because the ly presumes that it modifies what follows. So you do not hyphenate that.
I just don't. Nobody's hyphenating.
Jeff is correct. Jeff is correct.
Can we please record that for the best of the year?
There's no set rules.
Okay. No,
this week in grammar.
There's flowers for Algernon.
I know what the G stands for. Our show today brought to you by Capterra.
Actually, you did it.
I did it. I segued. Capterra is a very, very important thing for everybody to know about. And I'll tell you why. Because how many times have you said, what's the best, I don't know, what's your business? Medical office management software. What's the best website building software? What's the best learning management system, the best maintenance software, construction software, CRM software? Well, what do you do then? Do you go to Google and search CRM? That's designed to end in disaster. This is such a better idea, and I love it because it's free. It's called Capterra. 400 categories of business applications, everything from, customer service to project management. You can narrow it down. So let's say you're looking for, I like to do the medical practice. Let's say you're looking for software to manage your medical practice. There are so many of these. You could just go on and on and on. So this is one way to start. They have links, short reviews, then links to the website. They have profiles. But you can also look on the right here. I can narrow it down and say, I only want to see 4-star or better reviews. I want to see something that can handle, let's say, 99. That's pretty big. Let's say I have a small office, 2 to 9. Do you want it web-based or installed? Do you need claims management? Yeah, I guess so. Of course, it has to be HIPAA compliant. Do we have more than one physician? Will we bill patients? Now I'm going to filter the results, and it's going to narrow it down to products that actually do that. I'm going to say, let's compare this one and this one. You see, I'm building you can't see it. It's under the lower third. Can you just briefly take down the lower third? Because I'm building this little bar down here. See that? Yeah, there you go. And then I press compare now. I get a chart of the 3 that I'm interested in, all the features, how they run. And then the best part is verified real user reviews, thousands of them from people just like you. You can see screenshots. This is so useful. It's absolutely free. There's no obligation. You don't even need to register. You're not going to get annoying emails or follow-up phone calls, nothing. It's just there for you for free. You won't spend weeks or months searching the internet. All you need in one place. It's called Capterra. 200,000 ratings and reviews, 400 categories, thousands of programs to help you get your business done. Capterra, CAPTERRA.com/twig. Millions of people use Capterra every month because it's great. You need this. Capterra.com/twig. Make it easy to get the job done. And it's free. Free. All right. I gave you a little time, Danny, to come up with something besides sick day. Are you there? He's muted. Or is it me?
Can you hear me now?
Now I hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Mr. Verizon man, I can hear you.
I don't know.
Come on,
I'm
anything.
Struggling.
What's your favorite? Okay, you did a movie, so you actually technically.
No, I was going to do a tip for like if you haven't already used a wallet case.
What's a wallet case?
It's a case where you have your cards and things, so you can slide your cards inside them like this. I'm trying to find cards that don't have numbers. on them.
For a cell phone case that has a wallet.
Yeah, and it's and I've got to say I've not had. So this is my tip.
It gets so thick.
No, it's not. It's not that thick at all. It's like that's the phone. I haven't carried a wallet for like almost 3 years now, maybe 4, because you've got my credit cards in there. I keep my emergency cash in the back, or you can sometimes slide in a little bit there. And my one that I'm using for the iPhone is from Silk. You can find it on Amazon. It's actually a Wirecutter recommendation, but I found it before Wirecutter recommended it because it's actually hard to find good wallet cases. They were kind of all the rage 3 or 2 years ago, and then they Spec stopped making them, and
this is
OtterBox
slim.
stopped making them.
I get it, because this is fairly slim. It just got a little pouch in the back.
And I tell you what, it's a lot slimmer than trying to carry around a wallet and carry around thing. And
it's not designed to carry everything you'd put in the wallet, just a few cards and some cash.
No, but what I found is you don't actually need as much as I used to carry, right?
See, I have a George Costanza wallet. My wallet is
I know, but it's very liberating. You just have your phone, you've got a little bit of cash, and you've got your credit cards, your driver's license, things like that.
The person whom you're trying to reach.
What happened?
The Skype lady has interrupted us.
What was that?
Skype lady.
Skype lady.
That freaked me. I've never heard that before.
You haven't?
Anyway, so that's my tip. If you've never thought about it, wallet cases are pretty cool. They make me feel very, very free and been very good. And my mainest challenge is when the new phone comes out, making sure you can find one for them.
And of course, there isn't one for the Pixel XL.
I wish that when Google comes out with the Pixel, that there is one for the Pixel XL. I can get you one.
From Silk?
Not from Silk. You have to find another one from Amazon. It's kind of sewn together.
Yeah, I see. It's
like an Etsy project, but
it's from Etsy.
It does. But it works.
Somebody knitted it.
This is what kills me with Pixel. It's like, Google phones, they're the ones I could never get wallet cases for.
Yeah. All right. That's a good tip.
All right. I tried.
Yeah, that's excellent. Stacey Higgin. Well, wait a minute. We got to do a number, then we'll do Stacey Higginbotham. What's your number? JJ.
Well, you stole 2 of my numbers, but I stole another one from you.
Jeez Louise.
So Google's digital news initiative, which was a $150 million fund, €150 million fund to suck up to publishers.
Yeah.
Among the projects, the Register is making fun of them for giving $800,000 to the UK Press Association to automatically write 30,000 articles a month.
30,000.
The Register says they're wasting their money, and it's just it's a cynical move to get more pages and more ads.
Wow.
I think the Press Association says it's a way to get more content at no cost or low cost into publications.
So are they real articles or are they junk?
Yeah, they're real articles. Reuters has been doing that. Reuters has been doing this for quite some time with sports and finance articles. Huh. So this is a way to try to get more local articles.
Oh yeah, sports. A lot of the sports, because it's just it's
structured data,
mechanical. Yeah.
As I like to say, an article is just a form of data visualization.
Wow. Do you say that to your students?
I say that all the time. I have T-shirts with that on them.
Right after you say hyphenate the words before a noun?
This could actually be cool because Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Stace.
Oh, I was going to say, knowing what projects are permitted, in your neighborhood, you could do a Google search for, I know that I like to trawl my little TCAT and various other databases, looking for things that might relate to me. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice. I would like that delivered on the internet to me easily.
Sweet.
Jimmy Wales's Wiki Tribune also got money.
Oh, good. I know he got enough money to fund it, right?
Yeah, we and full disclosure is we gave him $50,000, and Craig Newmark gave him $50,000 from the News Integrity Initiative.
Good, and he has his full complement of journalists.
10 journalists, yep.
And now he's looking for people to contribute.
volunteers to work side by side with them.
Yeah. Where can we go to find out more about that?
Wikitribune.com.
Have they actually created any content yet, or is it still?
Not yet. Not really. I think Jimmy did an interview with somebody, but not yet.
Yeah.
Not really.
Stacey
the
has
profile.
been. Yes, that's a good way to start. Stacey has been working very hard to program her device so it would work before her picks, and I gave you all the time in the world. Are you ready now?
I'm ready. In fact, so I just first I had to find the phone, then I had to charge the phone.
Your husband had to
Then I
bring
had to
you the
pair it.
phone.
Yes. So what I'm showing you guys is the Fibaro. Oh, I lost it. This is the box. The Fibaro HomeKit-enabled motion sensor.
Ooh.
And everyone's like, ooh, ISR on. I am sad to report to you guys that there is not actually an ISR on. This is what it looks like when it's not doing anything.
Oh, that's just the box.
Woohoo! Sorry.
Now it just looks like one of those scary cameras out of the Circle movie.
Yeah, it's kind of
It does.
an eyeless camera.
I am
Why
watching
does it have eyes
Stacey.
in the pictures?
Yeah, that's misrepresentation.
They call it their cat's eye design, and it's
Only
this.
you guys would want
as-
the eyes.
Everybody
else-
else says, can we get rid of the eye?
Yeah.
I'm like, can you imagine this like in the corner of your closet, like as a motion sensor, and you're like, oh my god, it's watching me.
This is like scaring me. This ad is scaring me. I feel like they're about to attack us. What's happening?
Is it floating? Oh, no, it's tucked to the
No,
ceiling.
it's motion. There's a back.
Oh, so this is like what you get in stores. Oh, there is an eye.
Oh, it does flash an eye.
Well, it flashes. Mine doesn't look like an eye when it flashes, but maybe my lighting is not appropriate. I'm trying to get it to flash.
It's looking
on
like an
camera.
eye or an O.
Yeah, I mean it's a super fast flash though.
So
There
what
it
is it sensing?
It's sensing temperature. Hold on, I'll tell you. Motion and that's the wrong phone.
Does it,
And now it's
does it know
sensing an
anything?
earthquake.
Yeah.
People are being murdered in this thing.
It detects even the slightest vibrations, but it doesn't tell you what the motion is.
Oh my god!
It's not a camera.
It's not a camera. It's a motion sensor, so it's going to be doing. Okay, temperature. Oh, in ambient.
Wait a
light.
minute. What's
So
the scary clown
There's
doing?
a clown. The clown
There's
is
a
coming from
clown.
inside the house. Oh no, get out now. A clown detector. Just what I always needed.
Why is a cat attacking the stuffed animal?
Oh, I don't like this house, Mommy.
The clown. The clown.
me out.
Kids, go away. Run
Is
away
this
from
a
the
juggalo
clown.
detector? I think it's a juggalo detector.
If you just put scary music over this ad, it would just be. Oh.
No, they put happy music. They put happy
so the
music. But let me find some
European-
scary music.
Or Stacey.
Yeah, go ahead. Some more.
No, it's okay. So it knows when you move the thing. So here it is, blinking.
So-
Do you see
so-
blinking?
Let's
What?
get the music on, Karsten. This is the music we're going to play. And get my music, your ad.
Stay out, kids.
Oh, I like
Stay
this.
out.
What is happening?
Oh my God.
Oh no! After the kids were all destroyed.
The Eye of Sauron. From Mordor comes the best way to monitor your home.
It watches your children when they sleep.
No motion detected.
Because they're all dead.
Wow. Okay. There you go. So, Stacey, do you like
All
it?
right. I'm just thinking how Fibaro's never going to send me anything ever again.
Oh, this is a great plug. This is a great plug.
People are going to be very curious about it now. It's all right. It's all right.
Oh, do you see it going nuts?
Yeah.
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 It's because I just moved it. It's like, someone's
So
tampering with your motion
Why
sensor.
would you want that instead of a camera? I mean, my
so
Nest
I
IQ does all of that too, I think.
Oh, because it doesn't have a camera in it. That's the beauty of it. If you don't
you're
want
right, because my wife threw the Nest IQ out of the house.
Right. So there it is, warning me that it's detected tampering. Okay, so I set up my motion detectors to turn on lights when, like, a good example is in my laundry room. My laundry room, when I open the door, it turns on the lights. When I close the door, after no motion, it turns off the lights.
So it's like a refrigerator.
Yes. Or if you've got closets, you can put smart light bulbs. So then you tie them to your motion sensor, and then you have fancy closets that light up when you open the door.
Neat.
Okay. And you can also do it for home security. You can set it like arm the system, and then if motion's detected, send an alert. sound a siren, do something. So this one is special. Fibaro's made these for a long time. They're actually one of my 2 favorite sensor companies. Aeon Tech is the other one. And this particular sensor is HomeKit enabled. This is their first HomeKit lineup. Oh, yes. So I'm not that keen on HomeKit.
HomeKit is Apple's technology.
That's Apple's technology. Yeah. And then I also have the window, the open-close sensor, which goes somewhere around here. Blup, blup. I can't make it work.
So it's kind of like a whole. Oh, that's.
It's cool. A whole kit.
Yeah.
And I didn't pair that one in case you guys wanted to see me pair a HomeKit device and see how easy it can be. Okay, I don't have to.
What's the hub for the HomeKit? Is it the phone?
It's your phone and or your Apple TV or your iPad.
See, and I presume that Apple's new Home Hub, as they call it, is going to be HomePod is going to be the home hub of the future.
And the Apple TV works great. Like the way it interacts with my HomeKit enabled door locks, it's magical because every few months they actually will talk to each other and I can unlock things remotely. But for most of the time, they just don't even deal with each other. So.
I saw somebody tweet that every time he joined some Wi-Fi that his locks thought he was home. Because I guess the Wi-Fi was centered somewhere near his house, and his whole house would unlock.
Oh, how funny.
Like the coffee shop Wi-Fi. So that's not a good thing.
Anyway, so I'm not a huge fan of HomeKit. No one will accuse me of that.
Why not?
One, we're not an Apple-only household.
Right.
And so that's a big thing. But I also hate how... This is a general pet peeve of mine. Instead of things being tied to a household, they're tied to your personal account, and then you have to share everything in iCloud. So my husband owns the iPad that we wanted to use, whereas I own my iPhone. And it is possible to link the two, but it's such a pain in the butt. So I am a big fan of, like, I guess devices, support for multiple people in a home in a way that's really easy. And no one's figured that out. It's not just HomeKit.
And all those words are separated by a dash, by the way. I just want
all of them. They were all descriptions.
Because they were,
So yes, so that's the Fibaro. I haven't played with it beyond setting it up. So if you guys, I can, in a couple weeks, I could be like, this is what I like. Yeah. This is good. This is bad.
Is it Fubaro?
It's Fibaro.
They're not from around here, are they?
They are European. I think they might be Italian.
Because they don't know what foobar means in America.
And I will say their app, I went on their app and I was like, is that really them?
Wait a minute.
It looks a little sketchy.
Wait a minute. Okay, you bought the eye, but I'm buying the button.
Oh, the button is awesome. So they don't have a HomeKit button, though. So this is their Z-Wave stuff. And their Z-Wave stuff is immaculate. It's awesome. I love
you just push the button and then you tell it what to do.
It's like the Logitech Pop, except it's cooler looking because it's Italian.
Oh, it's Italian. It sure is. Look at that. Fibaro. It means something different in Italian.
Ooh, you can hide it and then eject someone from your office. I like that.
Oh my God, it was like totally fail. You'd be like, I'm gonna leave you this button. If you're not well, just push the button, hit the button, and the Wi-Fi will be down. And you'd be like,
help. Oh, 1 click turns on the light, 2 clicks turns on the projector, 3 clicks turns on the fan.
Great.
Well,
4 clicks gets Danny.
Just click it twice if it's an emergency. Why is 911 calling?
So this is like a dash button that does anything you want.
Right. That's tied to a Z-Wave hub.
Right.
Or whatever. And yes, this person is talking about email addresses for your home as a way to manage all this drama. And I don't want to do that.
Right.
But I've already had to do it.
Right. All right.
Maybe I need a button.
Stacey.
I need a button, and it needs to punch Leo.
See? If you had that button. We just need an IoT boxing glove. That's what we
really
need.
I have buttons, Leo. I have all kinds of.
You got the button.
Oh, she's
I just
got
need
buttons.
to get the glove.
Yeah.
I think if we just keep mentioning this, somebody will just make it for the satisfaction of.
I think so.
Danny,
you could put Stacey's screen on a motorized bottom, and she could just jam you.
Yeah, she just wants a button that she hits, and then then a boxing glove comes out and punches me.
Or we could do one of those. Why don't we do this, Leo? The telepresence robots, and then I could just roll over your foot.
I have one here. We don't use. I spent so much money on that thing. We used it like 3 times. I was like, well, this is dopey. And now it doesn't fit any of the current iPads because it was tied to that model.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we should wrap this thing up because I see Megan Maroney and Jason Howell with their noses pressed to the glass trying to get in so they can do TNT. Thank you, Danny Sullivan, for coming out of retirement for this show.
Great
I really
to see
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a
Frank
pleasure. Sorry the
Sinatra
bandwidth
search
disappeared
engine.
at the last minute. I'm trying to fix it, but I've given up. I have to reboot the computer.
Come back anytime. We will contact you, and you have an open invitation.
Great. Well, I appreciate it. It's always fun to be here.
Nice to have you. Really appreciate it. Stacey Higginbotham, you'll find her at stacyoniot.com. That's where her newsletter is. And don't forget, she and Kevin Toffel, the great Kevin Toffel, host the IoT podcast.
No, it's the Stacey podcast. That's how everyone knows it. It's the Stacey podcast.
And that guy, Kevin, what's his name?
Kevin gets full. He's my total co-host. Great partner.
Nice. Oh, I love Kevin. And tell him, now that he's not at the Goog, we got a chair for him.
He is ours.
Yep.
We want him in here.
Forget what I told that Sullivan guy. Oh, he's still here?
I'm on mute. Couldn't hear.
I love how he talks without his lips moving. It's amazing. Jeff Jarvis is a professor of journalism at CUNY. He knows where to put the dashes. He knows where the dashes are hidden.
That's indeed.
Exactly right. And you can find more of his work at buzzmachine.com. That's his blog, or also on Medium, but he writes prolifically.
My hair has gone all Joe Scarborough.
I like it. I like it. And I think for parody, you should join the Republican Party just to make it, just to balance it out. Jeff you're going to go anywhere? Or are you home for a while?
No, I'm going to Lima tomorrow for 2 days.
Oh, wow. That's a long flight.
And then I'm back, and then I'm in Sydney, so I'll be calling you in 2 weeks on 6:30 in the morning.
Yikes.
My time. But it's worth it.
Nice.
Last time I did
that is
that for
dedication.
Sydney. It is.
Last time I did it for Sydney, the hotel had like no Wi-Fi, so I went and bought a 3G box, and I was out on the water doing the show with the bridge in the background, the sunrise.
I remember that. That was so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well, good. Fun. Maybe we can do that, recreate that. We do This Week in Google Wednesdays, 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern, 20:30 UTC. If you want to stop by and join us, you can watch it live on our website, twit.tv/live, but you can also watch it on YouTube and Twitch and Ustream, and you can be in the chat room at irc.twit.tv so you can talk back to the television. I'm talking to the television. If you can't be here live, please, by all means, subscribe on your favorite podcast application or visit twit.tv/twig. That's why we have audio and video of every show. Always a lot of fun. Don't forget, go to battleforthenet.com and use that to write your Congress critter, to call your member of Congress, and to comment at the FCC and fight for net neutrality. This is a battle for the future of the internet. We'd appreciate that. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Twig.